16 yards the first time he got his hands on the ball. Allen goes deep for Alfred Jackson. Yes! Todd McMillan beaten. What a great toss by Damon Allen.
It really was, and it's a check off at the line of scrimmage by Damon Allen to put the man up the bat that you talked about, Glenn, Alfred Jackson. He's their home run man. It was a blitz look, and Jackson beats McMillan over the top.
I think Damon Allen read man-to-man defense, just like you're talking about. Todd McMillan is a 23-year-old rookie, and he's got Alfred Jackson lined up on him, knows he's got man-to-man. That's the matchup he wants. And they are going to try and get the ball in number 7's hands as much as they can tonight. They feel like they're there. Alfred Jackson is the big play man for BC.
What a great way to begin a ball game at BC plays tonight. You got here just in time for the biggest play thus far. Louis Pasaglia makes it 7-0 BC. Alfred Jackson's 10th touchdown catch of the season.
Well, this cures a lot of ills when you get in the end zone on the first drive. This is a team that struggled last week against Toronto. Couldn't move the football at all. And they couldn't get the football to that man. Damon Allen made a point of getting it to that guy right away. He recognized the situation at the line of scrimmage, checked off, got himself some maximum protection, and got Jackson the ball over the top.
You know, Dave, Damon Allen was under some heat like the rest of the Lions were from head coach Adam Marina, and felt like he really had to step up his game in this game tonight. And first play of the game, Allen takes off, runs for 16, then he finds Jackson on back-to-back passes, including, of course, that big one for the touchdown. So it appears to me that Damon Allen heard the message loud and clear and is ready to play tonight.
49-yard touchdown. Damon Allen to Alfred Jackson, and the Roughriders are ready to receive. Short. Taking it to 25, and Baker steps out at about the 33. So how do the Roughriders respond to Damon Allen's heroics on that opening drive?
I think Saskatchewan has to just try and get a couple first downs together and just sort of stop the bleeding right off the bat, because Damon Allen's got his team rallied. He's got the emotion and momentum on his side. He's got the crowd here in BC Place behind him.
Well, you're exactly right. We saw 4 plays, but Allen was the key in the drive. He made the run to start the series off, as you said, Glenn, and then got Jackson up the bat twice for him.
You can tell by the look in his eyes, he's ready to play tonight.
Saskatchewan first down. Reggie Slack had time. Now he's going to have to escape. He lost the ball. Benefield was chasing from behind, number 3. A loss of 2.
Well, Reggie Slack is a quarterback that has the ability to move, and that's one of his strengths in this offense. But we're going to talk about David Benefield coming off the left side. This is a guy that's 250 pounds, and he's just going to walk Slack down from behind.
Great speed. Not only that, but he also beats Andrew Green, who tried to pull back and pick him up from the offensive line and just couldn't get there in time. And Benefield, with his quickness, ran down Slack.
It was a fumble recovered by the Roughriders, a loss of a couple. 2nd and 12, Saskatchewan back at the 32, and this one is whistled down. Both Saskatchewan quarterbacks had difficulties last week. Slack and Mason combined
time count violation. Saskatchewan number 17.
They combined for 6 receptions, 22 attempts.
And I don't think they only completed 1 ball in the second half of that Montreal game when Tracy Ham stormed back with the Alouettes and won the game 30-29.
2nd and 17. Narcisse and 2 other receivers to the near side. He looks to Narcisse. It was almost picked up. Humphreys had a shot at it. The Riders will kick it away in a hurry.
Well, Dave, I'm not sure who he was throwing to there. It looked like Dan Farthing was underneath and Don Narcisse was in behind, but he kind of threw it in between. There was 3 BC line defenders in the area.
Reggie put the ball kind of up for grabs twice there in the series. He fumbled the football and the hit by Benefield, and there was an ill-advised throw to the wide side of the field that actually Leonard Humphreys had the best chance to make the play, and that's the corner for BC.
McCallum with a nice average. Thompson ready to return. This is something the Lions really need. A better return game. Thompson misjudged it, takes it on the first half. He's surrounded, nowhere to go, but out of bounds. 4 yards on the return after a 50-yard punt. Great start for the Lions on Friday Night Football.
If you're out for the day, there's an advisory. We're warning hikers the weather's going to fluctuate severely in the next 12 hours. If you're out for the day, there's an advisory. We're warning hikers the weather's going to fluctuate severely in the next 12 hours. Have a nice day.
How come you didn't stop them?
Did you see what they were wearing?
Jackets?
Nope. That was the Wind River system from Marks. It'll adapt to anything. They know what they're doing.
Mr. Dave Thomas?
May I approach the bench, Your Honor? According to our records, you haven't tried our new pitas.
I guess I'm guilty.
Come try Wendy's delicious fresh stuffed pitas today.
These are great.
You know Charlie Small.
I do. He should be back in 2 to 3.
Got a really barnstorming finish to the World Championship.
TSN delivers bonus coverage of Jacques Villeneuve's drive for a championship. Gear up for qualifying action at the Japanese Grand Prix, only on TSN.
Damon Allen has struggled for a couple of weeks. He's had some difficult times, but he's hot tonight. And against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 69 of 106, 833 yards, 3 touchdowns. And here's who he'll work with.
Yeah, Glenn talked about how this receiver corps needed to step up for him, and the running backs as well. And they struggled last week against Toronto, but they've immediately made an impact. And the offensive line, Ellen Aweeby, Taurus, Withicombe, Mantika in there in replace of Furtick, who was at the tackle, and of course Bradley on the left side. Those guys stepped up immediately in the first drive. They saw a blitz. Damon made the adjustment. They picked up the blitz and made him and allowed him to make the throw.
Damon Allen perfect thus far, 2 for 2, 57 yards, and the 49-yard touchdown to Alfred Jackson. Nice drive the first time he got his hands on the football. Lions begin at the 37. 3 receivers to the far side, and here comes the train. Sean Millington. He was out near the 50, but grabbed the first down. 13 yards for Millington.
Well, a couple of games ago against Saskatchewan, Millington ran roughshod over this defense for 212 yards and a team record. This time he gets a great block from Larry Thompson on the corner, Glenn, that allows him to get around the end.
Yeah, he's really having a great year, and it all started with that Saskatchewan game when he broke the record, 212 yards. Before that game, he had rushed the ball 24 times for 49 yards. After, he rushed for 117 and 723. That game turned his season around.
Flags down and a first down play as Thompson makes the catch. Run down from behind by Dale Joseph. The gain will be 11 if it stands. Dave Ewell in charge of proceedings, and this will be a procedure call against Saskatchewan.
Illegal procedure. BC number 6. First down repeated.
They cut Corey Philpott.
Well, Corey Philpott got caught for being downfield too quickly. But the thing I see with the BC receivers already in the game, it was an eye-opening experience last week with Toronto's blitz package. Are they coming or are they not coming? They didn't adjust very well. Already I see the receivers getting in quickly, opening up, and giving Damon quick throws.
Jackson to the far side. Thompson flank to the near side. First and 15. It's Philpott taking it out of the backfield and rolling out. After about 8.
Sorry, John, this is a Saskatchewan defense that's led up front by Bobby Jurison at 33 years old. 3rd in the league in sacks with 9. One change. Bevel replaces Darnell Small, and the secondary has 2 new corners, Todd McMillan and Eric Sutton.
Couple of all-stars in that group. Jurison would be one, I would think. Terry playing at the safety spot, looking at 2nd and 7. Allen looking deep. Jackson the target again, and he missed by 7 yards.
Well, that's obviously the area. There's a flag down. There's going to be a holding call against BC's offensive line, but we've already seen him attack both corners now, and Jackson going deep.
BC number 64. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
You got 2 rookie corners here playing, and Adam Rita has designed this offense, obviously, and with Damon Allen at quarterback, to go after the 2 corners.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. One is Allen to get the ball into Alfred Jackson's hands, and the other is to take advantage of the young secondary and the changes in the secondary for Saskatchewan. Adam Rita knows that the Saskatchewan secondary averages 25 years of age. That's pretty young.
Caravana kicking for the Lions. Ulmer returning for Saskatchewan. Little seam opened up. He's out to the 20. Lou Pasaglia bothered by a calf muscle, so Caravana is in with the Lions on top by a touchdown.
Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million or other fabulous trips and prizes. If your name appears, it means you could win $1 million if any CFL player returns 2 punts for touchdowns in today's game. $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway Food and Drug.
How mad do you think she's gonna be? She's gonna be fine. Get in there. He's dead. I'll call you tomorrow. Come on, you sleep on the couch. You don't have a couch. Let's go get some pizza. No. Let's wait for the pool table.
Anything but white.
White's good.
How about faux finishes?
Do they come in white?
No. We needed to know what kind of paint to use where.
Alkyd, latex, or what?
We found the perfect paint, lots of colors, and the right advice just down the street.
And Beauty Tone is backed by the no quibble guarantee.
Hey, you do the bottom half and I'll do the top.
Home hardware, help is close to home.
This goes on so easily.
Well, let's hope it comes off the same way.
Enter for a chance to win the coolest road trip on earth by Menon. Win a road trip for 24 friends to the 98 NHL All-Star Game in Vancouver. And shoot for a chance to win $24,000 each. The coolest road trip on earth by Menon, official NHL deodorant sponsor. Enter where you see this display.
Reggie Slack leading the Saskatchewan Roughriders, hoping to respond to an opening drive by the BC Lions. Slack hitting on 52% of his passes. Too many interceptions compared to the touchdowns he's thrown. That's been a problem for both Saskatchewan quarterbacks. But they say Slack is number 1 in Saskatchewan. Saunders sliding out. Benefield nailed him quickly. Fleming is also in on the tackle.
Well, this is an offense that had 27 total yards in the second half last week against Montreal. This group's going to have to step up. Shannon Baker, the new receiver in the lineup at outside receiver for Reggie Slack. And this offensive line, Green and Kaminsky, have 6 starts between them in this league.
So that could be a little leaky before the night's over. 2nd and 5. Slack stands in. There's a penalty as Mayfield made the catch. Well, that offensive line wasn't leaky there, but I would think there might be a holding call coming.
Holding, Saskatchewan 51.
And that's not one of the new guys. That's John Terry.
No, they got the veteran that time. That's a big offensive line. Terry's 300 pounds. Green's 300 pounds. Kaminsky's 300 pounds. Terry going to get called for holding on the left side. They're number 51 working against David Benefield.
Nice swim move to the inside by Benefield, and his quickness got past Terry. That's why he had to grab him.
Saskatchewan looking at 2nd and 16. Slap for time. Narcisse makes the catch, and that's 178 games with at least 1 for Don Narcisse.
Reggie waited a long time to get this ball out to Don Narcisse. Had Curtis Mayfield inside running the corner route, which is to the sideline, and pulled the defensive back out of there, and could have popped Narcisse a little bit sooner. Narcisse, the smart receiver that he is, tried to get north and south, but just couldn't get enough first down yardage.
You know, talking about Don Narcisse's consecutive catch record at 178 now, you know, John, I asked him how he felt about that record, and he said, you know, I really don't think about it much, except for the fact that I look at it in all of football. Right now, Art Monk leads the way with 183 consecutive catches. He played for Washington in the NFL. Don Narcisse has 178. Jerry Rice at 177, so he looks at the total picture.
Thompson returning for BC. He's out near the 50. 7 yards on the return, and Damon Allen heads in again. His first drive ended up in the Saskatchewan end zone.
Well, there's a fire in Damon Allen's eyes and a jump to the step of the BC Lions. This is a team that voted as a team to put the pads on this week, and practices during the week looked more like training camp, including a couple of scraps. The Lions did not show up physically last week versus Toronto, and I expect they'll be a little more physical tonight.
Damon Allen on first down behind Mazzoli, the intended target, and another marker bounces down near the 55. That one came from the Saskatchewan secondary.
You're going to need a pass interference call offensively. Got a little push off and tried to come back to Damon Allen. Might have gotten Trevathan on the call.
Lions lead it 7-0.
Forward pass interference. BC number 77.
Hey. Good eyes.
Well, they got to throw the defensive backs a bone every now and then because they're always complaining about being pushed off. So, you know, every now and then you got to throw one their direction.
No response.
Rule of thumb for DBs: if they push, you pull.
Allen at 1st and 20. Just inside the 40 from the shotgun. Stands up. Millington makes the catch. Another marker. And Millington is out across the 50 for an 11-yard gain. What a year he's had. 394 yards in receptions.
Holding. BC number 60.
Well, this time Jamie Taras gets called. But Millington's got 43 passes coming out of the backfield. He's been a featured guy in this offense since the injury in about week 6 or 7 to Corey Philpott. He really found his own and started running the football. He's 5th in the league in rushing, and with 43 receptions really gives Damon another weapon coming out of the backfield to take care of the zones and throw underneath.
Not many options here for Damon Allen, looking at 1st and 30. Lions push back inside the 30. Millington, not a bad call. He gets about half of it back.
Well, that's the patented screen call or the draw calls when you're going to get in that situation, because it's generally a fairly easy play to execute. Can't really screw it up with penalties or anything like that because the offensive line is actually turning the defensive line loose. So pretty easy call there in a long yardage situation. Safe, and you have a chance to pick up some of the yardage back.
2nd and 16. Looked like early movement, no flags. Allen is nailed. Although I thought one defender had him a little sooner, but they surrounded Damon Allen and finally brought him down.
Well, Joy Alexander timed his start perfectly to the snap count. He's to the left of your screen, number 46, and he is in motion just as the ball is snapped. He almost looked offside, but he's the one who provides some pressure right there, misses the tackle, but flushes Allen right into Jason Simmons' hands.
Caravana in for Pasaglia. His first one traveled 46, barely got that away. Baker lost yards on the return. Well covered by BC special teams. Fleming down to make the tackle. It's Slack's turn when we return to Friday Night Football.
See the bear? Taste the food. The new Ringer Burger, a pure beef burger seasoned with a special blend of herbs and spices, topped with a fresh golden onion ring, a slice of real mozzarella, and processed cheddar. The new Ringer Burger. For a taste, you'll flip over. See the bear?
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do start your car, there isn't an engine treatment in the world that can give it the kind of protection Slick 50 can, because nothing else has Slick 50's unique chemistry. That's why Slick 50 engine treatment protects so well at startup and keeps on protecting even when you change your oil. You can reduce your engine wear up to 50%. What it takes is Slick 50.
Sound the alarm.
Come on.
Wait, here's Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
2 scoops of raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops.
Yeah.
Now loaded with bigger raisins.
This guy's been a rock for the BC Lions all year long.
Yeah, this BC defense is really led by Maurice Kelly. He's the guy that even last week in that debacle in Toronto played really well. And if you ask me, he's the nominee. You see Don Wilson back in the lineup after missing a few weeks with the knees problem. But Maurice Kelly is my nominee with Willie Pless out of the West, the defensive player.
Not much there. Scott makes the tackle.
Well, Johnny Scott's been the lineman of the week 3 weeks this season. 3 weeks out of the 15, he's been the lineman of the week. That tells you he brings his game every week to play. They consider him maybe the best athlete on the football team.
On second down, Slack looks to put it up. And he missed Narcisse. Kelly Lockbaum was back in coverage, playing his 6th game, and Narcisse shaken up.
Number 80, Don Narcisse.
Riders can't get anything going, guys. That's the 3rd time it's been 2 and out.
Well, the Lions sent some pressure. Halfback Don Wilson came on the blitz, and Reggie Slack was trying to find Don Narcisse down the field. You see 20 flash at the top of the screen. You see what happened to Narcisse. He goes up, whoa, gets bent backwards, and that looks like a back problem for Don Narcisse. Good news is he's moving on his own, but that he really bent backwards.
But you don't realize the size of some of these players playing this game. Narcisse is about 5'9", 180, and he's going to take this shot. And the guy that hits him, Glenn Kelly Lockbaum, who's 6'2", 240. So there's the difference between the sizes of people running into each other on the field.
Narcisse, the 7th player in CFL history with over 10,000 yards receiving. Now McCallum is in. The Riders are punting again. Thompson and Gale deep for BC. This is Rashid Gale at the 40. Little stunner step. He's slippery as an eel out there. They finally bring him down.
Travis Wentworth is 40 yards. Number 14, Rashid Gale on the return. Tackled by number 89, Mayfield. And 74.
Alfred Jackson, story of the game. Super catch on the Lions' first touchdown.
Well, and he's starting to get healthy. I mean, there's a guy in the last 3 weeks been playing on a bad knee, and I talked to him before the game. He told me that his knee is really starting to feel better. This is the touchdown early in the game, just one-on-one on Todd McMillan. Alfred Jackson gets healthy. He's scary. He's got all the tools.
Allen has his hands on the football again, and so does Jackson. Made the catch. Lost the ball out of bounds. Sutton made the tackle, playing his 5th game for Saskatchewan. Eric Sutton.
Well, there's the beauty of Alfred Jackson. We just saw in the replay him go deep and catch the touchdown pass. Now the corner plays off and he catches the hitch route and turns around and faces you. You got to come out and make that tackle, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're the corner. First of all, you got to back up when he's laying on the line of scrimmage, and then you got to come up and, like you say, make the tackle. But when you get beat early as a defensive back, that plants the seed in the back of your mind, even if it's not you. Eric Sutton wasn't the guy who got beat early, but he saw it happen. So he's giving Alfred Jackson a little more room, so there might be more room for that hitch pass as this game progresses.
2nd and 2. Why not give it to Millington? It's easy. Over the top, and the Lions' drive continues. Sean Millington is his own blocker sometimes. That's what Adam Rita thinks anyway.
Well, 225 pounds and 6'2", he packs a punch when he gets in there, and his legs are so big. He's 225 pounds, but I'll bet each leg weighs 100 pounds.
And they are up around his ears when he hits the line of scrimmage, and if you're trying to come up and tackle him, boy, that's tough.
Line for midfield with a 1st down. Millington tries the right side. Krupke helped slow him down. Number 75.
You know, and you throw in the fact that the Saskatchewan Roughrider defense right now is without Darnell Small at the linebacker position. They're going to play Bryce Bevel and sometime Vince Donaldson and 7 defensive backs against BC. That means that Bobby Jurison, the front 4, along with maybe Greg Clark and Gary Rogers, are going to be responsible for stopping the run. And that makes it tough when you're 1 linebacker short.
2nd and 7. Allen shotgun. Looks for Jackson. Jump ball. And it landed out of bounds. Eric Sutton made the play on Alfred Jackson that time.
Good play by the youngster this time. Jackson doesn't really sell that he's going downfield, and they realize watching film that Damon Allen likes to throw this short side out route. Sutton breaks on it and knocks the ball away.
Well, Eric Sutton did a nice job of reading Damon Allen's drop, and what I mean by that is he had his eyes back at the quarterback. When he stopped and loaded the ball to throw it, he broke his feet down and broke down on the out pattern. He read the quarterback and jumped the pattern.
Caravana's kick coming down to Baker. At the 15, 50 move, but he's rolled out at the 22. David Pratt on the sidelines.
Well, as you know, John, Narcisse went out after the last series because he got a hit in the head. It was just one of those things. He said he fell down a little bit funny and then just got a whap. But he bounced back up, as you saw, and he is back in for this series. Back to you, John.
Well, that's good news for the Roughriders, obviously. Narcisse has really had an outstanding season in '97.
Well, you know, he started slowly, but he's really picked it up. And right now, Don Narcisse really just has to average about 100 yards a game to get to his 1,000. He's got 3 games to go. He's at 735 yards. So if he has 3 games in a row, he can get 1,000 yards receiving on the season.
Saskatchewan charged with holding, and they're rolled back inside the 10. Sean Daniels got the call there. He missed 10 games for the Roughriders, and that was a concern for Jim Daly.
You got to really give Daly some credit. This team has really gone. I talked to him before the game. They've gone through some things that head coaches normally don't have to go through, and he's really been resilient and hung in there and tried to keep his team together, and they play hard every night.
2nd and 9. Slack needs a 1st down. Curtis Mayfield, the target is picked by Kelly. By Rashid Gale, I should say. He's down to the 1.
Dave, the BC Lions decided to rush 3 and drop everybody else into pass coverage. I think as a quarterback, and Reggie Slack's probably going to look at this tape and want this pass back. He's throwing into coverage. Only 3 rushing the quarterback. You see all the time in the lane he has to run. But lots of coverage downfield. Rashid Gale comes up with a pick.
Well, the only place to miss this throw is over the top and to the sideline. You need to take your receiver to the sideline over the top to make that throw. The underthrow gave Rashid Gale the ability to make the play on it.
Well, he won't get credit for the 1-yard line. He was down just inside the 35, and that's where Damon Allen takes over. Trevathan laid out, couldn't bring it home. So the Riders offense has really struggled here tonight. Slack still looking for a first down. Now he's tossed another one away.
Well, that last play was the right read, just didn't hook up. So Rasheed Gale comes up with a big turnover for his team.
Well, it's really difficult to throw the ball to a corner route, and that means the receiver breaking on a 45 to the sideline against a 9-drop zone.
Allen sees it open up the middle. He'll have the first down, sliding safely at the 20. 14 yards for Damon Allen, who's run a couple of times very effectively.
Well, Damon Allen takes advantage of a stunt from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They run a stunt with their linebackers and leave one seam open. This man-to-man defense, so the DBs have their back turned, and that allows Damon Allen the lane to rush in.
A few more yards for the rushing leader among CFL quarterbacks all time. He won't get away this time. Allen is dropped. There's a marker down as 3 Riders met at the quarterback, including Troy Alexander, Bobby Jurison. And the penalty goes against BC.
Holding, BC 64. Penalties decline. Second down.
Real nice movement from this Saskatchewan defensive front four. They're running a lot of stunts. This time you're going to see the stunt go this way with Troy Alexander coming all the way around the other side. Good movement from the Saskatchewan front four is giving that offensive line a lot of problems. They get the holding call plus the sack here.
8th sack of the season for Troy Alexander. As we send you back to CFL Friday Night's Control.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Friday night football tonight.
Friday Night Football, live at the quarter, is brought to you by Midas for new, longer-lasting carbon metallic brake pads.
And welcome to our Friday Night Football Control Studio. I'm Rod Smith, along with Bob Obilovich, Les Brown, Marty York, not with us tonight. He's observing Yom Kippur. Now, we had asked Pat Tabler, our baseball analyst, if he wanted to tune in. Pat, still feeling around the Canadian rules here, so we'll give him a chance to watch the game and get caught up. Maybe he can join us a little later on. Well, inconsistent BC Lions team. Boy, Les, we've seen flashes of brilliance in them this year, and also just the opposite, like last week against the Argos. I know they were vowing now, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call last week. They got to start getting a little more consistency.
Well, whenever this team happens to play bad, the coach ends up putting them through training camp drills during the next week of practice, and they end up coming out playing well like they're doing tonight. I talked to Damon Allen after the Toronto game, and he was very upset at his performance in particular, and the inconsistencies he's had this year, which you can't mark him. I mean, the guy's only thrown 9 interceptions. But anyway, he was really upset about the way these guys played. So, to take heed, he came out this game, 16-yard run right off the bat. Then 2 back-to-back passes to Alfred Jackson, 1 for a 49-yard touchdown. I think that's trying to tell you what these guys are all about right now. They want to set a message to Saskatchewan, who's trailing them really good. Now, McMillan has really good position on him right here. The only thing he didn't do is he didn't find the ball in the air early enough to get a knockdown. And that was just one heck of a catch by Alfred Jackson.
Plus, Alfred did a pretty good job of using that left arm to keep McMillan away a little bit.
Well, you know that David Archer commented about us defensive backs crying that we don't get them too often. Well, there goes one right there. The offense got away with it again.
That was well thrown and a good play.
Yeah, well, it is BC now with the lead anyway. No more complaining from you guys here. Let's head back now to BC Place. John Wells, Glenn Suter, and Dave Archer, guys.
Just one touchdown in this one, but the Lions are threatening to add to their total inside Saskatchewan territory, but facing second and long. Allen shotgun. He has Philpott, and he's down to the 20-yard line, so it's 3rd and 10, field goal opportunity, and the numbers after quarter 1.
And they're ugly, Glenn.
Wow. Whoa.
No first downs. If you don't get a first down in a quarter, you're not doing things properly offensively. That's the understatement.
That's being very polite.
Well, you know, I mean, you look at that rushing total, too, 6 yards. In fairness to Reggie Slack, he really needs a running game. With Mike Saunders in the lineup, he needs that running game to help him open up some play-action pass and get a little bit of the BC Lions pass rush off him.
Lou Pasaglia slides in now. He hasn't been handling the punting duties because of a calf muscle problem. But he is the field goal kicker for the BC Lions, and he's 1 for 1 tonight.
Louis Pasaglia didn't take any reps this week in practice, including yesterday, the day before the game, and the calf has been bothering him. But, you know, when you're 43 years old and played 22 years, I don't think you really need a whole lot of reps in practice.
I was just getting ready to say that the all-time point leader in this league has probably got the old swing groove, probably.
Yeah, he's been to this dance a few times. I don't think he needs any practice. In fact, he could just show up for the game.
No one is going to catch Sweet Lou.
And there's your guy, Dave Ridgway. You held for him for a few years. He's number 2 behind Louis.
Yeah, and let me see. I don't think there's anyone on that list going to catch him. Paul Oswaldson, the only guy's playing, is like $2 grand behind him.
You have to get to be 43 to catch up. Slack has completed just 1, and that's 2. Narcisse has both Saskatchewan catches and a first down there at last.
Well, Don's earning his catches because he gets hit by Maurice Kelly, and then Lockbaum pounds him as he comes inside. As you said, Glenn, this guy has had an all CFL season.
Well, you know, Willie Pless having a good year, but I think it's between him and Willie Pless so far this year as to who comes out of the East as the defensive player, because what a year Maurice Kelly's playing.
Saunders. And not much for Saunders was all was said and done.
Well, we talked about Mike Saunders and establishing the running game. Robert Mims was released this week because Mike Saunders is in the lineup, and you know, I have my opinions on that situation. I don't see how someone can be released when they're on the injured list, and that's basically what happened to Robert Mims this year, but that takes nothing away from number 32. Boy, he can get it done in a lot of ways, catching and running.
Riders do think they have improved themselves with Saunders there. He picked up 3, 2nd and 7. Slack escaped, and a man open. Daniels made the catch, but he's well short of the first down.
Well, just a quick note on the Robert Mims thing. And Robert went in and asked. He realized he was not going to get back on the field with Saunders here because of Saunders' versatility of catching and running the football. He realized he wasn't getting back on the field. He went in and asked Coach Daly to release him and Al Ford, and they granted him that wish. It was a gentleman's agreement to give Robert Mims an opportunity maybe to latch on with another team and contribute someplace else. And they didn't waive him when he was hurt, Glenn. I just want to clarify that. He didn't know. He was healthy.
No, he was healthy, and I agree, Dave. I mean, they gave him the option, and he decided to leave. My point is, when he comes off the injury list, I think at the very least you put him on the roster with Saunders and say, okay, you get a half a piece, may the best man win.
Larry Thompson takes the easy way out far side, but in fairness, there was nowhere to run. It's Friday Night Football, and the Lions lead by 10.
Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won the Motorola DPC 650 cellular phone. With its discreet, slim styling, it's as convenient to carry as it is to use. Motorola, the best-selling, most preferred cellular phones in the world. Or a cordless power drill from Hitachi Power Tools, designed to surpass even the toughest performance standards. Commitment to quality craftsmanship goes into everything we build. Hitachi Power Tools, precision-built power. For your chance to win, visit your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Oh, hi. It's Midas days, and that's why we can't afford a color commercial. But what we've saved, we're passing on to you. Midas will give you a lube, oil, and filter, top up fluids, test antifreeze, rotate your tires, set the pressure, and check lights, hoses, and belts. All for just $34.95. And they'll even inspect your brakes for free. See? It's right here in black and white. Midas, the way it should be.
Well, now, you sure there's any fish in here at all? Because we haven't latched into one today yet.
Tired of sitting on the sidelines? Want to be part of the game?
Be
offensive. Be radical. The CFL is back and more radical than ever. The action never stops. It's hard-hitting, high-scoring football. Get in the game. Wear the attitude. Come on, go, go, go. Woo! Be offensive. Be radical. CFL football. Get in the game. You have any more popcorn?
Friday Night Football live from the stadium at BC Place. The Lions have the lead. The Roughriders have not responded offensively at all. Damon Allen has completed 6 of 9, closing in on 100 yards. Half of that came on a great touchdown toss to Alfred Jackson.
When you see there, he's averaging almost 10 yards per attempt. That's the impressive thing about Damon Allen. Every time he touches the ball, running or passing, he averages 7.5 yards a play.
And he's run effectively tonight, David. Play action fake, and here goes Millington with the head of steam. You don't want to stand in front of him if you're a skinny little defensive back.
Real nice job at the point of attack. Mo Eloanibi and Chuck Bradley create the opening for Millington. Watch the right side of the offensive line as it just folds down, and then Millington makes one guy miss. Troy Alexander then gets to the outside, and then it's one-on-one.
Safety Ryan Carey did get a hand on him and slowed him down. Millington again, and why not? This guy can run. Last time against the Roughriders, he set the Lions record, 212 yards in a single game.
Well, and the great friend to a quarterback is a super running game, and this is what Allen has had over the whole season, really, since Millington's got involved in about week 6 or week 7. And when you can run the football this effectively, he really has everything in his offense available to him.
Nice evening going already for Millington, halfway to 100. This is second down. Jackson made the catch, another BC first down, and what a move. Great move on Eric Sutton. He's finally forced out by Dale Joseph. The gain is 18.
Okay, now when we talk about having all the tools, okay, this is what the tools, this is what we're talking about. This is something that you don't coach. You coach the pattern, but you don't coach that move right there. Stops on a dime, breaks to the outside, and Eric Sutton has nothing but towel in his hands.
Yeah, what was that flying out? That was a towel, wasn't it?
Well,
it wasn't an undergarment.
I think Eric Sutton was throwing the towel, hoping they would mistake it as a flag.
First down, Lions. Millington made the catch, and then won a battle right there. Sean Millington is still going inside the 20-yard line.
And John, you said it so well. He won the battle because the defense was called correctly. They had everybody in position to make this play, and Millington just outperforms Rodgers on the play here. Glenn, he's got an open field tackle, doesn't make the play.
Yeah, that's right. The design of the defense is for Gary Rodgers to take Millington out of the backfield. That's what he does. Now it's one-on-one in the open field, and again, a good move and strong right arm by Sean Millington to push Gary Rodgers, who weighs 240 pounds, aside and head upfield.
Another 18-yard gain. They're at the 18 of Saskatchewan. Allen pump fake once. He looked for Thompson. And Sutton was with him. Allen missed the target.
Well, that's been set up throughout the game. They've thrown a couple of hitches on Sutton, and Jackson made the nice run a couple of plays previous to this. This time they put Thompson over there, fake the hitch, and go over the top. That's a play that Adam likes to feature down here in this red zone or green zone, your scoring territory. Fake the hitch route because the corner's hugging a little bit on Glenn, and then go over the top.
Absolutely, and I think he's looking at the age of the two corners in Saskatchewan, and he said all week probably, we're going to go after those two young corners.
Great drive for Allen once more. 62 yards thus far on 2nd and 2 over the middle. Jackson made the catch, but he stopped short of a first down. Nice tackle to save a first down.
Wow.
Dale Joseph.
Alfred Jackson involved again. You know, go back to those corners, and Todd McMillan and Eric Sutton forced into action with the injuries of Vincent Donaldson and Patrick Burke. Both are in the lineup tonight, but Vincent Donaldson just came off of stomach surgery. It's not quite 100%, so he'll be played sparingly. Patrick Burke is wearing a cast. So Jim Daly felt it was, even though he had young corners, it was better to go with the youth and the help.
Lou Pasaglia. Little chip shot for Lou, hitting on 75% again, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. The Lions have scored all the points. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have failed to answer. Well, our colleague, number 18 up here, has been making all kinds of headlines this week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that at the half when the boys get together, but we should have a little chit-chat about the comeback.
There's a buzz in the Canadian Football League about it, and I'm not surprised that the media is taking it a little out of proportion, Dave, and they'll give you a chance to talk about it at halftime.
Yeah, saying it's been blown out of proportion, maybe the understatement of the year. It's a situation that there's some interest there, but I've never really changed my attitude on it. I was interested last year in playing, but I opted to do this with you guys, and I will look at that again this next year. I mean, I still have to have a chance to talk with TSN and CBC and see how they feel about my situation about coming back here. So I really never changed my attitude.
Well, you've got a couple of Saskatchewan guys that you stand between here, and it's nothing against Saskatchewan, what you did last year by not signing there, right?
Absolutely not. And I think my release has been, the release from Saskatchewan has been very much not reported correctly. I was released because I wanted to have avenues open in the United States in the unlikelihood that I had a chance to maybe go back to the States to play in the NFL. Very unlikely, but if that avenue opened, Jim Daly and Al Ford granted me that opportunity. It wasn't that I was going to go sign with another CFL football team, and I think that's been taken all out of context unfortunately, and subsequently Al Ford and Jim Daly have been hurt by that, and I regret that.
Well, we don't want to lose you, but I noticed there's a little zip on that pass you threw down there in warm-up.
There's a little left in the air. Farthing makes his first catch, but gains only a yard. Anyway, more about that at halftime. You're going to talk to Rod Smith, but I think you explained it really rather well. The interesting thing to me is now you're a member of the media. Do you understand what's going on within it?
Well, I thought I figured it out in the first 12 years of playing football, but I certainly don't figure it out now. And in fact, I went down and talked to Donnie Wilson before the game and discussed it with him, and he's been playing a lot longer than I have, and he hadn't figured him out either.
Don Wilson cut the ribbon on the Canadian Football League. He's been in it so long.
Second down. Slack has Mayfield, and that'll be a Saskatchewan first down.
Curtis Mayfield was asked to be moved inside this week, and there's been a little bit of talk about that. He doesn't necessarily like to be inside, and a lot of the players on the Saskatchewan Roughriders felt that Ricky Walters, who's played well as the fifth receiver in this lineup, should have started. Jim Daly decided to go with Shannon Baker at wide receiver and move Curtis Mayfield. Caused some problems in the locker room.
First down for Slack. He has Baker more than halfway to a first down. Wrestled down by the veteran Don Wilson.
You know, I mean, Curtis Mayfield is a guy who's played the whole season at wide receiver. Now, he's taken reps inside, and that's one of the reasons Jim Daly wanted him in there. But when he talked to the media yesterday, he said he didn't want to be inside. He preferred to be outside.
Yeah, but I think this thing needs to be put in perspective. I don't think the coaches are necessarily trying to put people on the field who are going to lose football games for you. If he makes personnel decisions, that's what the coach does. Then you go out and you play like a pro.
The other part of the story is Baker's new to the team. He's only had 5 or 6 practices. And it's easier to start outside when you don't know the system as well as Mayfield would.
Well, that's Jim Daly's point. He says Shannon Baker can learn the wide receiver position. That's no problem. Mayfield has taken reps inside. My point is, you leave Mayfield outside. Ricky Walters, who's been playing pretty well all year, and I'm not second-guessing the coach. I'm just saying.
I think we just did, didn't we?
Ricky Walters has also worked pretty hard and would have liked to have the chance to start in this football game.
We got it. First and 10, Riders on a bit of a roll here as Saunders carries.
Now there's a play that I believe Mike Saunders and probably Robert Drummond run better than anyone else in the league, and that's the counter play. You might throw Kelvin Anderson into the mix on this play, but they do such a great job of running the counter play. You see the two people pulling around in front with a fullback, Sean Daniels, who's been out 9 weeks. His ability to block B.J. Gallister actually opened up the hole and allowed Saunders to get in there.
Nice job. What a block by Sean Daniels.
That's the guy they've been missing with a running attack all year. He's been out 8 games. Mayfield slides outside, made the catch.
I mean, that was quite the block by Sean Daniels. You called it, Dave, to come around that corner, and the fullback is so important to the running game, to be the first guy at the initial point of attack. kick out that linebacker.
And this is something people wondered, why don't they put Robert Mims and Saunders in the same backfield together? Mims doesn't do the kind of things Daniels does, blocking. Mims is a running back.
Saunders needed about 4. He should be close. Averaging 4.3 yards per carry. Last week on 18 carries, 47 yards, Mike Saunders.
And over his career, 74-game career, he's averaged 4.8 yards a carry. So this guy is a guy that gets you into a second and medium situation, meaning 6 or less every time he totes the football.
4:37 till halftime. The Riders finally on a roll inside BC territory with a first down. Saunders ran into one of his own there, and a marker comes down.
Well, how about Mike Saunders' initiation this year with Saskatchewan, playing the BC Lions? He has 155 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Holding, Saskatchewan 68. First down repeated.
Well, he has 98 rushes this year. He only had 1 carry in Toronto, so it was, like you say, it was an eye-opening experience and probably a pleasant one, because Mike is a feature, a better running back, a feature running back than a slot receiver, although he filled the void somewhat for Toronto, but they weren't satisfied, so they've gone out and looked in different areas. But Mike, much more comfortable in the backfield.
First and 20. Riders back at the 43, and Saunders again for about 3 this time.
Well, that other threat that he gives you, though, Dave, I mean, this is a guy that runs the ball well. And, you know, we talked about Robert Mims and comparing the 2 running backs. And, you know, they're both on lots of game film. So the coaching staff here knows what they can both do. And what they like about Mike Saunders is the other dimension, the pass-catching part of his game.
Second and 18. Slack getting a little heat. He won't get away. Wrapped up by Johnny Scott. This is the guy they call the freak of nature, or at least he calls himself that.
Well, this is why the CFL game is so great for defensive linemen. Johnny Scott's going to come in from way over in the left of your screen. He gets in space with Gene Mikowski. It's like working in an open wheat field, and Mikowski gets the one-on-one. Scott does the bull rush, goes right over him, and gets to Slack.
And the reason Reggie was so upset after the play is that he didn't dump the ball off to Saunders, but more importantly, they got a sack with a 3-man rush.
5th sack of the year for Scott is Thompson. Takes over for BC. And not much of a return. The Lions are still looking for that, while Scott celebrates a sack and a 13-0 BC lead.
Ceiling fan would help.
Shame. I was growing unusually fond of this lamp. So I went out and learned all about ceiling fans. I also found out about other ways to make the house more energy efficient. Caulking, weather stripping, insulation.
I'm your biggest fan.
Thank you.
Keep warm air in and cold air out with waterproof Weather Shield silicone caulking. Clear or white. 3-pack, just $9.97.
Mazda's known for innovation. V6 engines that feel like V8s. Van doors that open, not slide. And a unique rear TTL suspension. Now comes our protege with revolutionary OptiSpace design, giving you more interior room than any car in its class, even more than many full-size sedans. Discover the protege. After all, everyone needs their space. Mazda, retooled, refined, reborn.
Excuse me, sir, on the beach. Would you like to make a long-distance phone call?
Well, golf guy. I need your advice. Yeah, I can see the pin this time. Yeah, I know I'm almost in the trap. Well, no, because if the knees are bent, it's out. Feet are lined up. Well, I got a phone tucked in under my chin. I'm not really, you know, limber. I'm more of a, you know, limbo. Very loose, very fast, very nimble.
There's always something to say long distance. What are you waiting for?
Very nice. Right on the fairway. You're a great coach.
Reggie Slack did complete 6 in a row, so he's good on 7 of 10 for 63 yards, but he's tossed Another interception, and that's been a big problem for both Saskatchewan quarterbacks. Between Mason and Slack, they've now tossed 25 interceptions this year.
No question. The quarterback situation in Saskatchewan has been their problem. There's 9 quarterbacks rated in passing efficiency in the CFL statistics. Slack and Kevin Mason aren't even on the sheet.
Well, there's only 8 teams.
Yeah, and you talk about the players and this and that, and rightly so. They're the ones on the field making the plays, but your preparation going into a game has a lot with how you play. And you have to begin to wonder a little bit, is the preparation not there for the 2 quarterbacks to actually play at a little bit higher level?
Meantime, Damon Allen is having a nice night for the BC Lions. Hands on the football again, and why not give it to Millington? Ran into Kropke that time, number 75.
Second down, Lions. They're on 21. Game 3. Well, you got to think about week 8 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders coming in here to face Sean Millington again after Big 25 ripped off 212 yards and set a BC Lion team record in the process. And it was mostly in the second half of that football game.
The Riders have had difficulty with the run, and they have again here as Allen takes off for a first down. Out across the 30, stopped by Rogers. Damon Allen has run very effectively and selectively so far tonight.
I talked about Damon Allen averaging 7.5 yards every time he does something with the ball. Passing, he's averaging 8.2 and 6.9 on the run. That's the best in the league. The second, Doug Flutie, 7.4, so he's ahead of Flutie in that category.
Allen has carried 3 times for 38 yards, including 3 key first downs. Timeout at BC Place. We'll return on Friday Night Football.
Well, now, you sure there's any fish in here at all? Because we haven't latched into one today yet.
Tired of sitting on the sidelines? Want to be part of the game? Be offensive. Be radical. The CFL is back and more radical than ever. The action never stops. It's hard-hitting, high-scoring football. Get in the game. Wear the attitude. Come on, go, go, go. Be offensive. Be radical. CFL football. Get in the game. You have any more popcorn?
Introducing the Dodge Ram Quad Cab. As the only extended cab with 4 doors, it's remarkably easy to get into.
That was close. Too close.
And just as easy to get out of.
Introducing new Amigo Digital. Including a digital PCS phone with call display and 500 minutes a month, all in one affordable package. Finally, digital PCS comes down to earth.
Back at BC Place Stadium, final home game of the regular season for the BC Lions. They're playing well tonight. Have a 13-0 lead on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And a first down here. Damon Allen has run well, passed effectively. The Lions are in control. Millington has run well until right there. First time he's been stopped for a loss tonight. Bobby Jurison, 71, made the tackle.
Third down. Well, this is a defense that's been anchored by Bobby Jurison, but has had to go through a lot of changes. This was week 1 for this defense, and only 4 guys are remaining. Dale Joseph, Tyrell Ulmer, Bobby Jurison, and John Crockett. The only 4 left from what started the season. That makes it tough.
Allen finds Millington. Big hit at the 30-yard line. As Millington ran right into Greg Clark.
Fight fire with fire, huh, Dave?
Well, that's a pretty even match. This is 226 versus 225, and if you didn't hear it the first time, here it is one more time for you.
Listen to this.
Good hit. All right.
Greg Clark says, I've had enough of John Millington running around here. I'm going to go and let him know I'm playing this game too. Wow.
Minute 34 to the half. And Millington shakes it off. Caravana ready to kick. Busaglia handling the field goal chores only tonight for the Lions. Caravana sails pretty nice kick to Baker. Inside move. Wrapped up by Harry Van Hopwagen. 48-yard punt. Sean Millington shaking the cobwebs down at the BC bench.
See the bear? Taste the food. The new Ringer Burger, a pure beef burger seasoned with a special blend of herbs and spices, topped with a fresh golden onion ring, a slice of real mozzarella, and processed cheddar. The new Ringer Burger. For a taste, you'll flip over. See the bear?
What makes Ford trucks so tough? How about the choice of 2 available, powerful Ford Triton V8 engines? What makes Ford trucks tough to beat? How about the world's only standard third door on the Ford F-150 Super Cab? And what makes Ford F-Series the #1 selling truck in Canada for 29 years running? Hard-working Canadians who need tough, versatile trucks for work and for play. Built Ford Tough.
Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win. You could win $1 million. Or the DPC 650 cellular phone from Motorola, the Dirt Devil Ultra Swivel Glide Vacuum, a Panasonic 20-inch color television, the Elna 1010 sewing machine. Or win a trip or 2 to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, courtesy of World of Vacations, Canada's #1 tour operator to the sun. Participating products include Minute Maid Juices, Nescafe Instant Coffee. Don't forget to look for this month's coupon book. Safeway Food and Drug, today's better way.
Well, even if Greg Clark felt that hit with Sean Millington, he's not admitting it. Millington being attended to on the sidelines, and Clark still giggling about it. One more look.
Oh. Well, they tell you to wrap up when you knock a guy completely off his feet. No need to wrap up there, Glenn.
Sean Millington get the neck massage after that one.
First down, Saskatchewan. Slack looking deep. Hasn't gone that way for a while. Almost picked off as he looked for Baker. Damian Lyons had the opportunity, but there's a flag back at the line.
Damian Lyons slightly shaken up. Damian Lyons is quietly having a great season at the corner for the BC Lions. The holding call against Sean Daniels, but what a year Damian Lyons is having. He's got a couple of picks and quietly having a great season.
Wait, you know, Glenn, you talked about Alfred Jackson's receiver skills and coming to the football and making a move. This, in my opinion, is poor receiver skills. Baker never makes an effort to come back to the football. He knows it's underthrown, and Lyons makes the play.
Second and a bunch for Slack with time running out of the half. Good catch with the heat coming as Farthing grabs one.
Well, Dan Farthing has been a bit of a lion killer this year, and it's sort of haunted Adam Rita throughout his career. When Adam Rita was the assistant coach at UBC, Dan Farthing was at the University of Saskatchewan. That was 1989. Last game of the year, he makes another catch. Last game of the year, Dan Farthing runs back a punt for the University of Saskatchewan, 60 yards for a touchdown to win a playoff game. Crushed Adam Rita's UBC Thunderbirds, so he's been haunting Adam Rita his whole career. He made a mention of that in the press conference yesterday.
And Farthing with back-to-back catches has a first down for Saskatchewan. Less than a minute till halftime. Saunders. And there was nowhere to go as he was wrapped up by Maurice Kelly.
Well, waited too long to get Mike the ball. Mike's coming underneath. Saunders is coming underneath against zone. Want to drop the ball off to him a little quicker. Waited till he got across the field, which allowed Kelly to break on the ball and make the hit. Saunders never had a chance to react.
Second and 9. Slack with time. Look to Narcisse. That'll be a first down with 44 seconds till the half. Rashid Gale wrapped up Narcisse.
Nice concentration by Don Narcisse because Maurice Kelly and Gale were right around that football. In fact, Kelly dove in front of it, almost deflected it. Narcisse almost came up with the catch, or did come up with the catch.
Open over the middle, no flags. Now Wilson was covering, and it was tight coverage on Farthing, but no markers.
Well, it's a blitz. B.J. Gallus and Maurice Kelly at the top are both coming, and there's Lockbaum. All three linebackers are coming after the quarterback. That means the safety has to come down and cover somebody, and Donnie Wilson's locked on man coverage with Farthing. I thought it was pretty good coverage.
The veteran is back in the lineup.
2nd and 10. 34 seconds to halftime. Did he make the catch? No, it's into the turf. Mayfield tried to make it look a little better than it was.
Hey, Lions, you better loosen up and help your boy.
Well, the BC Lions are doing a nice job of mixing up coverage. They come with full-out blitz last play, and then they drop off into the zone defense. See Sheet Gale breaking on that football, and Mayfield can't come up with a catch, but they're making Reggie Slack read the defense, mixing things up on him.
McCallum has accounted for 40 of the team's last 58 points. This is a long one. And he's on target. 52 yards. Paul McCallum.
That's a big kick for the Saskatchewan Roughriders for a couple of reasons. One is Paul McCallum hurt his leg yesterday in practice. Wasn't sure if he could even play today, but it came back, and that's a long kick to make with a sore leg.
Yeah, that equals his longest for the season. And he came into the game tonight second in points behind only Mike Vanderjack, the kicker for Toronto. So he's done a heck of a job kicking field goals. 35, that's his 36th field goal on the season.
Said he sort of jammed his knee in their last game versus Montreal. Kind of was sore, and then yesterday in practice kind of stubbed his toe in the turf. Hurt it again, went right off, but he's back.
McCallum, a Surrey native, so he's kicking in front of some family and friends here tonight. Hitting on 71% and has kicked 15 field goals in the last 3 games, which is good news for McCallum's numbers, but bad news for the Saskatchewan Roughriders offense because he is the scoring story.
Yeah, that means you're not punching the ball in very often. You like to get touchdowns when you get in the scoring zone, but they certainly know they can hang their hat on Paul McCallum to knock one through for them.
That should about do it for the opening half at the stadium at BC Place. Playoff implications here tonight. Reggie Slack got the Roughriders moving a little bit late in the opening half. Damon Allen really did it all for the BC Lions very early. Friday Night Football, and we'll send you back to the gang at Friday Night Football Control.
All right, thank you very much, John Wells. So a similar tune going on for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, just not enough offense and all too dependent on Paul McCallum and that dependable leg of his. Rod Smith back with Bob Obilovich and Les Brown. It is a familiar tune, and we're seeing it again tonight at BC Place, Obi.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that Saskatchewan didn't come out with the same kind of intensity that BC showed early in the game. Damon really put things going, as Les pointed out early in the contest, and then, you know, Reggie Slack's been slow getting going. So getting that field goal right before the half, that's important for Saskatchewan to get back in the game.
We haven't really seen too much of Saskatchewan of late, but still they're adding to the total of players that they keep getting rid of instead of adding. And these players who have been on that team and have had made an impact on them, like LeBron Robinson, Henry Newby, Lamar McGriggs, K.D. Williams, and now Robert Mims. Now, all these guys are still, like Robert Mims, he's 9th in rushing and no longer on the team.
Although, would you admit that with the addition of Mike Saunders, it became a little bit redundant? He got hurt. Saunders comes into the lineup and is doing a pretty good job.
Still, I go by that theory you cannot lose your job from an injury. And so far in this league, so far this year, we have seen so many players lose their jobs because of being injured.
So you're...
Well, the only thing is, though, Les, is that from a coaching standpoint, looking at Saunders and what he does as an all-purpose back compared to what Robert Mims does, and as much as I like Robert Mims as a running back, if I had the choice, I'd take Saunders over him.
But, you know, even with all the changes, though, Les, you still see a recurring theme here, don't you? I mean, defense is playing. I think Saskatchewan defensively is playing a pretty good football game, but they can't move the ball. Can't get the points.
And yet, that's what they've been lacking all last year, and they were lacking at the beginning of this year, and they had a tough defense, but yet they changed the defense around, keep the quarterbacks the same, still no offense.
Yeah, Marty York isn't here to get at the big cry for Kevin Mason and make a quarterbacking change. When we come back in Friday Night Football, we will have a look at the games coming up in Week 16 and also a chat with one of our analysts tonight, David Archer. Don't go away.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Goodyear.
And the Win a Lear Jet for a Month contest is also provided by Goodyear. Blimp sold separately.
The Fall Wood Pro Sale from Steel. Save right now on selected Steel chainsaws starting at just $299.95 and get a Wood Pro kit valued at over $75 absolutely free. Steel, built to last, priced to sell.
Oh, hi. It's Midas days, and that's why we can't afford a color commercial. But what we've saved, we're passing on to you. Midas will give you a lube, oil, and filter, top up fluids, test antifreeze, rotate your tires, set the pressure, and check lights, hoses, and belts. All for just $34.95. And they'll even inspect your brakes for free. See? It's right here in black and white. Midas, the way it should be.
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do start your car, there isn't an engine treatment in the world that can give it the kind of protection Slick 50 can, because nothing else has Slick 50's unique chemistry. That's why Slick 50 engine treatment protects so well at startup and keeps on protecting even when you change your oil. You can reduce your engine wear up to 50%. What it takes is Slick 50.
Don't miss the Japanese Grand Prix live on TSN.
Our next game on TSN, CFL Live, coming up a week from this Sunday. Now, it won't, as originally planned, be the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Saskatchewan Roughriders. It has been changed to a major tilt in the West, the BC Lions and Edmonton Eskimos. We've got that one for you Sunday, October the 19th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's our pregame show. The kickoff at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and that is, of course, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. Note the time in Edmonton. Other games this week, a critical game tomorrow for first place in the CFL East, although there's more than the 2 points now separating the Toronto Argonauts and the Montreal Alouettes. It is a 4-point separation, but the Owls have been hanging in. A lot of close games for them and trying to stay close to the Toronto Argonauts in that race for the East. The last time they played them at Skydome, they were destroyed by the Argonauts, but Tracy Ham was knocked out of that game early on. Ham says you really have to execute properly if you want to stand a chance to beat the Argos.
I think the key for us tomorrow is just that we go out and not make mistakes. You know, that's the key to the ball game. And that's been the key for us all year, that we go out and not make mistakes and make them beat us and not beat ourselves.
That's one thing that this team has been extremely good at is being consistent. Every time we step on the field, you don't step, this game means first place. You don't step it up a notch because it means first place. We've been playing at a high level all year, and we'll continue to play at that high level. That doesn't mean that we can't get beat on any given day. But the trick is to go out and play consistent football every week.
We have to go into the game and just execute, eliminate mistakes, move the ball on first down. And basically, what we have to do is keep our offense on the field and keep Doug Flutie sitting on the sideline.
Montreal has to win that, of course, to have a shot at first in the East. In the West, interesting matchup. The Edmonton Eskimos trying to fight off the Calgary Stampeders and the BC Lions. They take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Edmonton at 9-6. The Bombers, after a loss to the Ticats for the second time this season, still sitting with 3 wins against 12 losses. Well, you heard the guys in BC talk about this a little earlier in the first half. Dave Archer in the news, as he has been for the last while, rumored to be heading back and putting on a jersey again, although I know you dealt with it a little bit, Dave, about Saskatchewan. But one of the rumors, meeting with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, discussing plans for next year. I want you to deal with this right now. Just tell me, what exactly is going on, if anything, going on as far as next year?
Well, I think, first of all, it's been blown way out of proportion, Rod, but Jeff Reinbold and I have talked casually twice, and it's been talk about family, about the area, when we've never discussed anything about offense, there's never been any discussions about money. And the reason for that is my obligation is with TSN and CBC. I have to see where the people that make those decisions are interested in me coming back. Is there an opportunity for me maybe to go to the States and do this for a living? Those are all opportunities that I'm going to evaluate. My position's never really changed as far as having a chance to play this game. I'm going to evaluate the opportunities that are on the field also. And I don't know where they think that the wavering's coming. Obviously, with Winnipeg struggling a little bit, they're trying to hang their hat on some things, but there's no deep discussions about me signing. There are no negotiations on the table right now because I can't do that. I want to see what is available for me in the TV end of things right now, and I'm going to evaluate all my opportunities.
Well, just let me say this personally. I've enjoyed your work this year. If you stay in the booth, great. If you go back in the field, that's great too. Good luck either way as it turns out for you, and thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks very much, Rod.
Dave Archer, and we'll be checking in with him again. Of course, for the second half, we have another game to tell you about in the CFL this weekend. The Hamilton Tiger Cats coming off their second win of the season, beating Winnipeg, taking on the Calgary Stampeders. Now, the Stamps had the chance to knock off the Eskimos last week. Really exciting finish there, but sitting at 8-7 and still not out of contention for the CFL West, although they certainly don't win the tiebreaker with Edmonton. It's really interesting what's going on in that division.
Well, the Western Conference has got a great race, but the game of the week is definitely the Toronto-Montreal game, and boy, Toronto's taking care of all their problems, if they had any at all, when they got their receiving core in place now. Jack Jackson at slot back and Kerwin out of wideout is a lot better than having Dwayne Dimitrition playing wideout and having Mike Saunders as a slot back, so they look awfully good. Montreal's going to have to play an exceptionally good game to beat them.
Coach, wouldn't you say this is a bigger game, more important game for Montreal than Toronto? Because even last year, Montreal has played really good throughout the season, but when it came time to play against Toronto, they struggle and haven't gotten wins since.
I agree with you totally, Les. We talked about that early in the season, that until Montreal can show that they can beat Toronto, they're not going to get any further than the semifinals or maybe to the finals.
And that is probably a final preview.
And it's interesting. They play them once. They also have another game, last game of the season in Montreal. The Argos, the Alouettes could have another meeting in the Eastern Final. Things continue as they are right now. We're at the half. BC leading Saskatchewan. Friday Night Football continues right after this. Our next game on TSN, CFL Live, coming up a week from this Sunday. Now, it won't, as originally planned, be the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Saskatchewan Roughriders. It has been changed to a major tilt in the West, the BC Lions and Edmonton Eskimos. We've got that one for you Sunday, October the 19th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's our pregame show. They kick off at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and that is, of course, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. Note the time in Edmonton. Other games this week, a critical game tomorrow for first place in the CFL East, although there's more than the 2 points now separating the Toronto Argonauts and the Montreal Alouettes. It is a 4-point separation, but the Owls have been hanging in. A lot of close games for them and trying to stay close to the Toronto Argonauts in that race for the East. The last time they played them at Skydome, they were destroyed by the Argonauts, but Tracy Ham was knocked out of that game early on. Ham says you really have to execute properly if you want to stand a chance to beat the Argos.
I think the key for us tomorrow is just that we go out and not make mistakes. That's the key to the ball game. And that's been the key for us all year, that we go out and not make mistakes and make them beat us and not beat ourselves.
That's one thing that this team has been extremely good at is being consistent. Every time we step on the field, you don't this game means first place. You don't step it up a notch because it means first place. We've been playing at a high level all year, and we'll continue to play at that high level. That doesn't mean that we can't get beat on any given day. But the trick is to go out and play consistent football every week.
We have to go into the game and just execute, eliminate mistakes, move the ball on first down. Basically, what we have to do is keep our offense on the field and keep Doug Flutie sitting on the sideline.
Montreal has to win that, of course, to have a shot at first in the East. In the West, interesting matchup. The Edmonton Eskimos trying to fight off the Calgary Stampeders and the BC Lions. They take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Edmonton at 9-6. The Bombers, after a loss to the Ticats for the second time this season, still sitting with 3 wins against 12 losses. Well, you heard the guys in BC talk about this a little earlier in the first half. Dave Archer in the news, as he has been for the last while, rumored to be heading back and putting on a jersey again, although I know you dealt with it a little bit, Dave, about Saskatchewan. But one of the rumors, meeting with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, discussing plans for next year. I want you to deal with this right now. Just tell me what exactly is going on, if anything, going on as far as next year.
Well, I think, first of all, it's been blown way out of proportion, Rod, but Jeff Reinbold and I have talked casually twice, and it's been talk about family, about the area, when we've never discussed anything about offense. There's never been any discussions about money, and the reason for that is my obligation is with TSN and CBC. I have to see where the people that make those decisions are interested in me coming back. Is there an opportunity for me maybe to go to the States and do this for a living? Those are all opportunities that I'm going to evaluate. My position's never really changed as far as having a chance to play this game. I'm going to evaluate the opportunities that are on the field also. And I don't know where they think that the wavering's coming. Obviously, with Winnipeg struggling a little bit, they're trying to hang their hat on some things, but there's no deep discussions about me signing. There are no negotiations on the table right now because I can't do that. I want to see what is available for me in the TV end of things right now, and I'm going to evaluate all my opportunities.
Well, just let me say this personally. I've enjoyed your work this year. If you stay in the booth, great. If you go back in the field, that's great too. Good luck either way as it turns out for you, and thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks very much, Rod.
Dave Archer, and we'll be checking in with him again. Of course, for the second half, we have another game to tell you about in the CFL this weekend. The Hamilton Tiger Cats coming off their second win of the season, beating Winnipeg, taking on the Calgary Stampeders. Now, the Stamps had the chance to knock off the Eskimos last week. Really exciting finish there, but sitting at 8-7 and still not out of contention for the CFL West, although they certainly don't win the tiebreaker with Edmonton. It's really interesting what's going on in that division.
Well, the Western Conference has got a great race, but the game of the week is definitely the Toronto-Montreal game, and boy, Toronto's taking care of all their problems, if they had any at all, when they got their receiving core in place now. Jack Jackson at slot back and Kerwin out of wideout is a lot better than having Dwayne Demetrician playing wideout and having Mike Saunders as a slot back, so they look awfully good. Montreal's going to have to play an exceptionally good game to beat them.
Coach, wouldn't you say this is a bigger game, more important game for Montreal than Toronto? Because even last year, Montreal has played really good throughout the season, but when it came time to play against Toronto, they struggle and haven't gotten wins since.
I agree with you totally, Les. We talked about that early in the season, that until Montreal can show that they can beat Toronto, they're not going to get any further than the semifinals or maybe to the finals.
And that is probably a final preview.
And it's interesting. They play them once. They also have another game, last game of the season in Montreal. The Argos, the Alouettes could have another meeting in the Eastern Final. Things continue as they are right now. We're at the half. BC leading Saskatchewan. Friday Night Football continues right after this.
Dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead, try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says,
No, over here. Are you gonna try those on?
like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it.
My baby, she's oh so cool.
Whoa.
I'm sure I've seen your face before, my friend. I stand here taken by your strength. Come on through.
What drives the power of an idea? In this case, 200 horsepower.
Time for a look at our Chevy Cavalier CIAU Top 10. Canadian University football. A lot of big games last week. Guelph sitting alone on top. Western despite a loss at number 2. The Ottawa UGGs after losing last weekend, falling from 1 to 3. And York after losing to Guelph down to number 4. As far as our match to catch, a lot of strong teams in the OUAA. And how about these two? The York Yeomen now at 4. Western Ontario Mustangs at number 2. And they are meeting in Toronto. Very big match. Well, in tonight's match in the CFL, Saskatchewan can't seem to move the football and rack up the points. That's hurting them. They trail by 10 to the BC Lions. Once again, back out to John Wells, Dave Archer, and Glenn Suter.
Yeah, it was a hot start for the BC Lions. Damon Allen scored on his first possession. It was 13-0 before the Riders really got rolling, but they closed the gap statistically at least a little bit in the dying moments of the opening half. So there's not too big a difference there, but it's 10 points on the scoreboard.
It was obvious the Lions' game plan going into the game was to get the ball to Alfred Jackson and to take advantage of the young corners in man-to-man defense the Saskatchewan Roughriders are playing, and it happened a big way in the first quarter. Key play of this game, Alfred Jackson took Todd McMillan deep, got in behind him. I wouldn't be surprised, Dave, to see Saskatchewan maybe go with a little more zone defense in the second half, because this is a matchup that BC Lions would likely go back to.
I think it is a matchup they certainly would like to feature, but I don't think you can shift gears and go to a zone defense simply because your offense is so ineffective. I think the reason they're playing defense, and I think Coach Marshall's playing defense the way he is, the aggressive style, is because they know how to create opportunities for their offense. Their offense is struggling. They know they need to create opportunities. That comes from an aggressive style of defense.
Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are behind, and they don't traditionally, at least in the last 5 games, play very well and score many points in the third quarter. We see what they can do tonight. A sports update coming up with Mike Toth before we return to BC Place.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Toth, and welcome back to TSN tonight. The Detroit Red Wings are just razor sharp this season. They got out of the gate at 3-0, looking to push it to 4-0 as they were taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And yes, we've got the highlights, and here we go. One of the reasons they're so hot, this man is red hot. This is Chris Osgood. The Lightning looking to change that. Michael Renberg to Brian Bradley. But Bradley fires it right into the belly pad. You're not going to score when you put it right into the goaltender's chest like that. The Wings open to scoring in the second. Coaster, this is a goal scorer's goal. Kicks it up to the stick just like that, spins and fires, and it was 1-0 Motown. Third period, Detroit working on the power play. Murphy to Lidstrom. What a great pass to Igor Larionov, and it was 2-0 for the Wings, and they would go on to win it 3-0. Ozzy gets a shutout, and yes, they are 4-0 to start the season. Elsewhere, let's see. The Hurricanes have defeated the Devils 2-1. The Canes' first ever win in the NHL. The Stars all over the Blackhawks 7-0. Mike Modano had the hat trick, the 4th of his NHL career. Lots of highlights coming up right after the football game on TSN.
Every day, the Canadian national rowing team strives for performance excellence. At Dynamic Mutual Funds, our team of dedicated money managers share information about the best value investment opportunities at home and around the world. For over 40 years, powered by partnership, driven by performance. Dynamic Mutual Funds, your partner for dynamic performance.
Reggie Slack finally got the Roughriders moving late in the opening half. He's down by 10 to Damon Allen as we begin the second half at BC Place. 11 of 16 for 100 yards for Slack. Damon Allen hit for 145 yards and a big 49-yard touchdown to Alfred Jackson.
And a lot of the damage Reggie Slack did was late in the second quarter when they went to a no-huddle style of offense. I really think that might be an opportunity for them to get back offensively.
Well, it's a good idea because Reggie Slack knows if he goes to no huddle defensively, the BC Lions have to be a little more basic. They have to call the defenses on the line, so they don't want any confusion, so they'll likely just go to basic zone defense.
Friday night football at the stadium at BC Place. Lions and the Roughriders battling for playoff positioning in the West, or perhaps the Eastern Division of the CFL. Riders need a win tonight or a Winnipeg loss to gain a playoff berth. So the magic number in Saskatchewan is 1. Shannon Baker returning for the Roughriders. He's up across the 30 to about the 33. Reggie Slack, 1 interception so far tonight against the Lions. Well, he's won a couple of times. 3 touchdowns.
Well, you see they have 8 first downs running, 7 passing. That's good balance. I really think if they'd feature a no-huddle style of offense and let Reggie up-tempo the game a little bit, it would benefit the offense here for Saskatchewan.
Well, we'll see if they're listening. Not on this play, but as it rolls along. Nice play action fake, throwing on the run. He's got his target. Sean Daniels sliding out of the backfield.
Well, it's a nice-looking play because this is how they set up the run to Mike Saunders. It's little play action, but Sean Daniels usually leads. He's number 35, right in the movement right there to the motion to the line of scrimmage. That's how they set up the run. This time Slack doesn't give it to Saunders and tries to hit Daniels out in the flat.
2nd and 7. Slack threw it behind his intended target, Mayfield, and there was an excellent opportunity for Kelly to pick it up.
Now, Glenn, you have to give all the credit to Johnny Scott. He put his helmet right in Reggie Slack's back on the throw, which made it an errant throw for Reggie Slack.
And Johnny Scott, to get there, had to work between 2 guys, Carl Coulter and Dan Comiskey. Fought through both of them and hit Reggie Slack as he threw that football. Boy, he's tough.
McCallum is in.
He's the kind of guy you want in your foxhole.
High and fairly deep. Philpott stopped in his tracks, surrounded by white jerseys. The return is 4. The kick was 43. And a big weekend in auto racing ahead. The Japanese Grand Prix coming your way Saturday, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific time. Jacques Villeneuve leading the driver's standings. A win there, and he'll wrap up the championship. So catch it on TSN and see if Michael Schumacher can catch Canada's Jacques Villeneuve.
And I think the race that Damon Allen has in the back of his mind is the one in the West Division right now.
Lions still have a chance to finish in first place. Millington shaken up on a big hit in the opening half. Seems to be okay. Grab 2 there, maybe a little more.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter how big you are. Those kind of hits take their toll on you. I mean, Sean Millington didn't quite run as hard as he did in the first half on that last play. It sometimes takes a little longer to shake off hits like that one Greg Clark put on him in the first half.
From the shotgun, a little civil pass for Millington, and Rogers was there, along with Greg Clark again. So the Lions come up shy of a first down.
Well, a conservative first series of downs for BC. Really didn't allow Damon to drop and throw the ball. He was very efficient in the first half. We saw 10 of 14 throwing the ball and making the right decisions. And so they give opportunity for Saskatchewan to try to climb back in this ball game.
Yeah, I didn't like the call. Shovel pass in 2nd and long.
Caravana fairly low. Baker waits at the 21. Out to about the 28. That's where the Riders will begin. Damon Allen trying to figure it out with Adam Rita on the sideline.
Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won the Dirt Devil Ultra Swivel Glide Vacuum with maximum vacuum power. The only upright with swivel casters for effortless maneuvering. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil. Or a Panasonic 20-inch color TV with Panablack Picture 2, 500 lines of resolution, EasyCon on-screen display, Game Guard, and stereo sound. Panasonic, the TV with all the bright moves. For your chance to win, visit your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Every day, people have financial concerns. At Manulife Financial, we're helping millions of Canadians find real answers, creating flexible solutions to help you face the unexpected. In fact, Manulife is probably helping someone you know right now. Manulife Financial, helping you make better financial decisions.
If you're looking for a delicious breakfast and a great way to beat the clock, we've got the place for you.
This is the McDonald's drive-thru. The fastest place to get an Egg McMuffin. Olé!
And let's not forget to mention our freshly brewed coffee. And orange juice.
And hash browns.
Choose from one of 4 great breakfast sandwiches, plus any of your McDonald's morning favorites.
Every day. Is this a great planet or what?
My McDonald's.
Rider receiver Shannon Baker heads to the sidelines, playing in his first game tonight, so Saskatchewan will make some adjustments to the receiving corps.
Well, we talked about it early. Curtis Mayfield not wanting to go inside. Well, guess what? He's back outside because Ricky Walters will now come in and play the slot back position.
And you had a discussion with Walters. He didn't get hardly any reps this week in practice, so
yeah.
Here's a guy having an opportunity. He's going to have to step up with not much reps in practice.
Riders beginning at the 28. Slack got a big charge. Forced to throw it away. Narcisse was the closest Rider receiver.
Second down.
Curtis Mayfield, 2 catches, 109 yards last week, but he was an outside receiver then.
You know, the amazing thing about Curtis Mayfield in his career, he averages 2.9 yards reception a game, 18.1 yards a catch. He has 23 teams, so he only averages catching the ball about 3 times a game.
Slack from the shotgun on second down. Time to throw. Behind the target, but Mayfield made the catch. It'll be a first down. Roughriders out across the 40.
Sometimes it just times out perfectly, doesn't it? Because right as we talk about him and his numbers and averages, he comes up with a great catch, because this is not easy to run what's called a dig pattern or an in and then come back across your body and come up with the football, and that's what Mayfield does.
Well, he's had a monster night tonight, because through 15 games, he only had 28 receptions, which is less than 2 a game. So this is a monster night with 3 receptions already for Curtis Mayfield.
38 yards Mayfield has picked up, and a first down there for Saskatchewan as Saunders carries. 6 yards to gain. He's wrapped up by Virgil Robertson.
You know, getting to talking about Mike Saunders, and I heard Les Brown talking at the half about not losing your job because of injury. And, you know, like Lindley, like you said in the first half, there's a lot of film on Robert Mims and in Mike Saunders, and that's how they did their evaluation as far as who keeps the job. That's why Mike Saunders is here.
Riders looking at 2nd and 4. Slack. And Walters, first down. This seems to be working quite well. Out to the 40-yard line.
You know, part of the problem, or part of the reason there Ricky Walters was disappointed, is that he's felt like he's contributed this year. With Rod Harris having the knee injury, Rick Walters has had a lot more playing time and had a pretty good game against Montreal. He made 5 catches for almost 70 yards when he replaced Rod Harris. So it feels like he's playing well and thought he deserved a chance to start, and he looks like he's going to get a chance to play anyway.
20-yard gain. Nice play action fake by Slack, throwing on the run as Mayfield down to the 26. Riders finally moving the football. Another first down, 14 yards for Curtis.
Well, this is Mayfield's 4th catch on the night. A little play action fake to pull Robertson inside, and then on the edge, Slack throws a nice ball outside to Mayfield, who sat down on about an 8 or 10 yard route. And Mayfield back at home outside, which is where he likes to play. It's where he's played his whole career.
Riders at the Lions 26. Slack looked to take off and fired. Nice defensive play, far side of the field. The target was Narcisse. Leonard Humphreys made the play.
Well, it was a great close by Leonard Humphreys, but it was a ball that took a long time to get way out to the outside of the field, and that gave Humphreys that extra chance. Now, he's got 3 interceptions in the year and is having a good season and broke on this football, but that's a long throw.
Well, and Don Narcisse has to realize that his quarterback is going to play fake and then roll, which means he needs to take his route a little deeper. It doesn't allow the DB to break on the football as quickly.
2nd and 10, Saskatchewan. They're at the Lions 26. Heat is on. Slack avoided it, looked to the end zone. Touchdown!
touchdown in my book, Glenn, because this just is not played well by Greg Frears. This ball should be intercepted. He throws this up for grabs, and Greg just misplays it.
No question about it, Dave. I mean, Don Wilson was in coverage, but he was hoping Greg Frears, number 40, who was back there looking at the football the whole way, had the interception and basically started looking for a guy to block. Greg Frears misplays the football, and Dan Farthing comes up with the catch.
And Farthing gets to Adam Reed again. You talked about that story. Well, the Riders jump right back into it. Dan Farthing, 4th touchdown catch of the season. Riders closing in. And Farthing, the happiest guy in the joint.
Oh, hi. It's Midas-Size days, and that's why we can't afford a color commercial. But what we've saved, we're passing on to you. Midas will give you a lube, oil, and filter, top up fluids, test antifreeze, rotate your tires, set the pressure, and check lights, hoses, and belts. All for just $34.95. And they'll even inspect your brakes for free. See? It's right here in black and white. Midas, the way it should be.
I fry bacon in the nude.
I rip labels off of pillows.
I sometimes mix colors in with my whites. What about it?
Everyone has a different view of risk.
I sometimes return a video without rewinding it.
At Canada Trust, our breakthrough personal investment program gives us an in-depth understanding of your views on risk, letting us personalize a plan that's right for you. Call now for an appointment.
I golf during thunderstorms, but never on Sundays.
High school was behind him. Now he and his buddies were going to take a trip. He was leaving his hometown for the very first time.
It's the worst area we've been in since I've been in Vietnam.
History Television, a compelling new network about the people and events that shaped our world. Coming Friday, History Television. It's about time.
An 82-yard drive ends in a 26-yard touchdown toss to Dan Farthing, his 4th of the season. The Riders close within 3 points of the BC Lions. A little luck involved in that touchdown reception.
Like you said, this is his 4th touchdown of the season. And Dave Moyer, our statistician, points out it's 4 touchdowns against BC. The rest of the league he hasn't scored against. This has been his team.
Dan Farthing has got 33% of his yardage against the BC Lions this year.
How many touchdowns behind Greg Frears? Or in front of him?
We know one for sure.
Flag is down on the return of 20 yards by Thompson. Check out the infraction here. Likely against the Lions. That's the early indication.
Holding BC number 65. First down.
That's Chuck Bradley. He should be smiling.
Well, Reggie realizes there's a little more work to do, but he's a huge quarterback. He's 6'2", 215 pounds, which is big by CFL standards. And his strength and size allows him to avoid Joe Fleming. And then he makes the throw to Dan Farthing for the touchdown.
And when a quarterback buys time like that as a free safety, you got to continue to get depth. Frears didn't do that.
Allen started well. He'll try and respond here with a pass to Sean Millington. Another big hit on Millington. Gary Rogers again. Millington showing that one didn't hurt at all.
Well, it was the same sort of play that Greg Clark came up and hit Millington on, and this time it's Gary Rogers, but good contact. It's been a very physical football game.
Well, as you said, Glenn, Saskatchewan comes to play every night. They may not win, but they show up to play.
BC first down, Lions 30-yard line. Allen shotgun. For Thompson, wrapped up quickly. Greg Clark made the tackle.
Well, Larry Thompson's got more and more involved in this offense as the season's progressed. He's actually leading the team in receptions, not yardage. That's Alfred Jackson, but receptions. And a lot of his plays are just like this, little slip screens or hitch passes.
And he's averaging 6 catches a game against Saskatchewan in the first 3 ball games.
Gain is only a couple. Allen looks long far side as Jackson. And he's given a rough ride out by Vincent Donaldson.
This is where the read took Damon Allen, I believe. This is Alfred Jackson. Corner's going to go deep in the zone defense, and he's just going to sit down. The read takes him out there. You see the corner, Eric Sutton, drop deep. That's where the read is. That's where the ball's delivered.
Exactly right, Glenn, and he got the ball on him quickly so he could run after the catch.
Jackson's over 100 yards receiving now. Allen, quick out. He has Mazzoli playing his 4th game for the Lions. Jackson, the 2nd leading receiver in the CFL, adding 100+ tonight.
Now this team's 4-0, as you said, when Jackson goes over 100 yards. You know, he played defensive back in the NFL, and he's played some defensive back in this league, and he said that really aids him in being able to read coverage.
2nd and 6, Lions at the 54. Big charge on Allen. He got him away, looking for Jackson and missed. Dale Joseph over covering on Damon Allen. Lions' first drive ended in the end zone, and they haven't been there since. A couple of Pasaglia field goals followed that in the first half, and the Riders have done the scoring in the second thus far.
A little bit of pressure on Damon Allen that time. He rushed that throw a little bit.
Caravana in for Pasaglia, doing pretty well. Standing at his 40 this time. This is a boomer. Down to the 5. Mayfield returned at 9 yards after a 51-yard drive. As Slack gets ready to return. This is Friday Night Football.
Play Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win. If your name appears, you've won a fabulous trip for 2 to Puerto Vallarta, staying for 7 nights at the beautiful Villas Vallarta Hotel, courtesy of World of Vacations, Canada's #1 tour operator to the sun. $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway Food and Drug. Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win. Participating products include Campbell's Chunky Soup, Glad Easy Tie Garbage Bags, Heinz Ketchup. Don't forget to look for this month's coupon book. Safeway Food and Drug, today's better way.
With a supercharged 3800 V6, full-range traction control, and many other luxury and safety advancements, the Regal GS by Buick is not just any
Dad, I gotta go.
family car. But then, yours is not just any family. The Regal GS by Buick.
What's more fun than Friday Night Football in BC? The Riders are coming back on the Lions. 3-point ball game. Farthing's 4th touchdown reception of the season gets Saskatchewan right back into the ball game.
I think he was fortunate, first of all, because of Slack's strength to avoid the rush, and then maybe bad play in the secondary. I think Prayers misplayed the ball, but Farthing has already set career highs in receptions and yards, so super year for Dan Farthing. He's really stepped up in place of some injuries.
And Reggie Slack has stepped up a little bit since a tough start. 16 of 24, 178 yards for Slack. They'll try and respond now, beginning for the Roughriders at the 15. Mike Saunders, a nice move by Saunders to get most of the way to a first down. Johnny Scott made the tackle. Jim Daly and the Roughriders need a win or a bomber loss to make the playoffs.
Well, the way the BC Lions started tonight, Jim Daly and his squad were on their heels a little bit, but they've responded and rebounded quite well. We got ourselves a ball game.
2nd and 2, Saskatchewan. Saunders again. And he should have the first down out across the 25.
Well, the magic number for this team to make the playoffs, Jim Daly's team, is 1. A win here, like you said, John, or a loss by Winnipeg on Sunday. But this is a team that has beaten everybody in this league that has a chance to win the cup, except for maybe Montreal, and they played them in 2 games to just 3 points. So I really think that this is a team nobody would really want to face in the first round of the playoffs.
Good point. But we don't know where the Roughriders might end up as far as the playoffs are concerned if they make it at all. They can with a win tonight, and Slack escapes. Nice little run there. Shaders made the tackle.
Well, they're one of those dangerous teams that they're real streaky offensively. They can get something going. Reggie can get something going and move the football team, and they can rack up some points, and their defense is very solid. They create opportunities. They're aggressive. They have a lot of people that know how to get the ball in the end zone when they have the opportunity. I think they're a dangerous team that really people can't figure out.
2nd and 6. Slack stands in, looks deep, looking for Narcisse. Humphreys was covering, and Narcisse really couldn't escape. So the Riders get set to kick it away.
Well, there was coverage downfield, pretty good coverage by the BC Lions across the board, and Humphreys was right in the hip pocket of Don Narcisse, and I think that was one of those deals where Reggie Slack looks at him and says, I can sort of stop the bleeding here, just throw it way up and out of bounds and punt the football, not throw an interception.
Now the fans are roaring here as McCallum took a little long to get it into play. They've thrown a flag. I don't know if the clock started or not.
Delay of game. BC. Illegal use of electronic equipment.
Oh.
First down.
Oh.
Illegal use of electronic equipment.
I have to say that's the first I've ever heard. Now, what, do they have a remote-controlled car over there stealing signals, or what do they got going?
Well, I have never heard it myself, but...
Illegal use of electronic equipment. What were they doing?
Well, you know the times are changing when you get called for something like that, huh?
Did it have something to do with the clock in the end zone? Well, BC being the home team? Saskatchewan with a first down as a result. And there's early movement there.
Now
Was there something on the loudspeaker?
We'll have to get a definition on that one. I've never heard that
I
before.
have never heard illegal electronic equipment in my life.
Another flag is down. Adam Rita looks a little bit
We have no
bewildered.
infraction on the play. It's first down.
Well, they didn't reset the 20-second clock for Reggie Slack once the illegal electronic equipment penalty was marked off. So that's the confusion right now, but we'll have to get a definition on the penalty.
Now, one theory that I've heard up here is maybe the fan meter now up on the big score clock got the fans going, and that is illegal to use electronic equipment to get the fans behind you.
There you go. That is the explanation. Saunders with another flag down. So they were using the scoreboard to incite the fans. Saskatchewan had a difficulty hearing what was going on, and so they penalized the home team, but you get a first down.
I'm going to go on record right here.
Holding Saskatchewan number 10. First down repeated.
That is a joke call in my book. I mean, the fans are here to make noise. You put the things on the screen, big deal.
I agree 100%. I mean, that's cheesy. You throw the fanometer up there, the fans get behind it. I mean, this is an important game for both football teams. Why throw a flag or something like that? I mean, that's ridiculous. And I'm sure Adam Rita feels the same way.
So the Riders looking first and 20. Fans are louder than ever, but The electronic equipment is not to blame at this stage. The penalty was Sean Daniels couldn't make the catch.
And the crowd got behind the Fanometer, but my question is, if the officials are looking up at the score clock and watching the Fanometer, why aren't they watching the field?
Okay, Suits, you take that one.
Well, that's
you can take the hit for the team on that.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Mayfield outside. On 2nd and 20, Saskatchewan. This place is a little noisy now. Far side. And Slack had pressure from Benefield.
I'll tell you one thing. That penalty's got the fans involved now. They don't need the Fanometer anymore.
Benefield actually got a hand on this one.
We're in a bad situation when it's 2nd and 20, or 2nd and 20, and Benefield gets the big rush. Reggie was going to have to throw the ball underneath, and it was incomplete, so bad situation to be in. That allowed Benefield and the boys to pin their ears back.
High by Paul McCallum. Larry Thompson. Wrapped up at the 40-yard line. Lions will have decent field position next Sunday, live from Commonwealth. The Lions, the Eskimos.
Wow. A BC win here makes that game huge.
The Lions can surpass the Eskimos and the Calgary Stampeders and finish first in the West if they win the remaining 3 games in their season. Problem is, those games against Calgary and Edmonton are both on the road. This is the Lions' last home game. Eskimos have Winnipeg, BC, and Hamilton. The Lions, Saskatchewan here tonight, Edmonton and Calgary. Stampeders have Hamilton, Toronto, and BC, and Saskatchewan may have the easiest road to claiming a playoff spot with dates after this against Hamilton and Winnipeg.
And Hamilton and Winnipeg on record look like easy shots, but Hamilton's got a great defense. And a lot of teams have struggled against that defense, so that's not a gift game there.
But let me ask you this question. Would you rather be trying to make the playoffs against Hamilton and Winnipeg rather than going in against Calgary and Edmonton the final 2 weeks of your season?
Well, that's a hard one to answer there.
On the road,
You're going into Alberta.
Here it is. I mean, look at this race. Now, the Lions have the season series on Edmonton and Calgary, but not on Saskatchewan. To get the series on Saskatchewan, they have to win this game by 22 points. It's a 3-point game right now. I can't see that happening.
Well, the other part of this scenario is if Saskatchewan wins the remaining 3 games and BC, Edmonton, and Calgary lose some games, Saskatchewan can actually finish in a tie for top spot. A little convoluted there. Toronto's going to finish first in the East if
I was just going to say, you're conceding that one already?
If they beat Montreal once.
They have to play Montreal twice in the final 3 weeks of the season, so that one's going to be decided on the field and not in somebody else's stadium. It's going to be decided between those 2 teams, and that's really the way it should be.
You think Winnipeg Blue Bombers are cheering for Damon Allen, the BC Lions tonight?
Yeah, the Bombers still have a very slim chance. Here's Millington. Big breakaway. Millington with a great run. Joseph finally catches up and gets the angle on him, forcing him out. This place is alive now.
Well, so often when you have big runs, the reason being is obviously you get good blocking at the point of the attack, but then you get good blocking downfield. And Alfred Jackson, number 7, the outside receiver to the right, is going to get a block right there, which allowed Sean Millington to get the corner. Now Joseph has to make the big tackle, save a touchdown.
You know, we always talk about Millington's power. He has deceptive speed in the open field. You start to bow your neck to take on the big hit, and he kind of runs by you.
Good fake by Allen to Millington, and then he finds him sliding out of the backfield. Interesting play. He's down to the 12.
Well, Gary Rogers for Saskatchewan was caught between a rock and a hard place. He had no chance on this play because he has to contain Damon Allen after the play fake. He's right to the right of your screen, and he also has to come off. You see 41, he's in between both. He has to come off and try and get Millington and also keep contained. No chance.
Well, one thing you learn as a quarterback so often is a faking back often is open because defenders fly out of there after the play fake to try to get back in their zones, and he's left all alone.
24 for Millington. He gets it again. He's inside the 10. Rogers wrapped him up.
Well, right after you get caught like that, standing there doing nothing, you want to get involved again. So Gary Rogers gets involved, puts his head right in Millington's chest on the next play.
Big drive by the BC Lions. They lead it by only 3, 26 seconds to go in the third quarter. Millington has rushed for 90 yards. Got passes for 50 more. Allen. Oh! Alfred Jackson couldn't hang on.
Well, you won't see that very often. Alfred Jackson dropped one that hits him there.
Now Alfred comes inside. The decision from David Allen is perfect. Get the ball inside. And you got to kind of wonder if he didn't know 31 was coming.
He peeked. He took a quick peek. Yeah, his head turned around and looked at Brian Carey, who's playing for Jason Mallett at the safety position, and took a quick peek. And when you take your eyes off the ball, that can happen.
Lou Pasaglia is in 2 for 2 tonight from 27 and 17. So the Lions have gotten Lou close, and he's having a perfect night. 16-10 now. The Lions would have loved a touchdown on a very impressive drive there, but it's stalled inside the Saskatchewan 10.
Well, once the team gets down in the scoring zone, a defense wants to bow their back and force them into a field goal. They provided the opportunity because Jackson dropped the football and forced them into the field goal, but the defense did their job. Once they allowed them into scoring zone, they had to force the field goal.
That's the end of quarter 3. There's going to be a big finish at BC Place tonight as we send you back to Friday Night Football Control.
All right, thank you very much, John Wells. So BC Lions had a chance to open things up against Saskatchewan, open things up again, and hey, it's easy enough for me to say. Why don't you take it away, Les?
It's hard to switch from baseball to football like that, and you know, I admire you for doing it right now.
Thanks very much.
The one thing you got to remember is there's more runs and more hits in this game.
And the CFL's not known for a lot of runs, but that still is the case. Well, now that I got my house in order, sort of, just tell me about that last drive. Another missed chance when you look at things.
You know what? I'm going to talk about defense since Marty's not here to back up and say that, you know, offense scores more.
Which you're loving, by the way, right?
You know what? Saskatchewan defense should take a bow right now because right now, inside the 15-yard line, BC comes away with 3 points. Now, if Saskatchewan goes down and scores, they're up by 1, even after playing as bad as they played.
Reggie Slack has looked brilliant at times in his career, not so brilliant at others, but that was just a beautiful touchdown pass, Obi, to Dan Farthing.
I think what that play really showed, and we're going to see it here in a minute, is that the kind of an athlete Reggie is. There's other quarterbacks in the league that are quicker, like Damon and Tracy and Doug, but Reggie's really strong. He's 6'2½", 225 pounds, and he just sheds that guy and then finds a way to get it down into the end zone to Farthing for a big touchdown.
Now, you coached him before. You were with the Argos when he was there. I mean, were there times that he would amaze you or frustrate you, wondering if he could just be consistent and do that all the time?
Yeah, Reggie's a very intelligent guy. And one night I remember in Baltimore, when we beat Baltimore in Baltimore, he ran for over 100 yards showing his athleticism. So he is a good athlete and a really quality person. So I can see why Coach Daly really sticks to Reggie as a starter.
And Saskatchewan needs some more work out of Reggie Slack. They're down by 6 points heading into the fourth quarter. Back we go to BC Place. Once again, John Wells, Glenn Suter, and Dave Archer. Take it away, guys.
This place is alive ever since the Lions were called for electronic interference. Saskatchewan first down. Here's Reggie Slack. Far side. What a great run by Farthing to get the first down. Lockbaum and Wilson forced him out. Here are the numbers as we have them right now. 313 total yards for BC. Net for the Roughriders, 222. Time of possession, rather interesting.
You know, John, 13 first downs for Saskatchewan's pretty good considering after one quarter
they had the big goose egg.
They had the goose egg up there. So in 2 quarters, they have 13 and have now tied BC in that category. So that's pretty good back-to-back quarters for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Farthing actually came up a yard shy of the first down on the far side. So this is 2nd and 1. Give the ball to Reggie. And it looks like they lost it on the gamble. The Lions recover the fumble by Reggie Slack. Why coaches go gray?
Did Greg Freres make amends?
Well, Greg Freres, I believe, comes up with the football, Glenn, but this is just mano-a-mano coming off, and you see Reggie gets elevated a little bit. It looked like a defensive back came in and got a good lick on him, and Freres ended up with the football. You see Maurice Kelly making the call for the referee right there.
You don't want to be in that pile. I mean, that is like guys are gouging, you're fighting, you're punching, you're ripping at the football. This is another look at it from the other side, and you see the helmet just popped it loose from Slack, and Greg Freres makes amends.
2nd turnover by the Roughriders. Damon Allen. As Corey Philpott. And he's wrapped up by Benefield. Not the kind of year that Corey Philpott normally has. Here's David Pratt.
As you just saw, Corey Philpott just grabbed that catch, but just a couple of minutes ago in the last series, he was actually knocked right out. The doctors take a long look at him. He said he's okay, and he's back in the game. You got to ask yourself if this was just an average game, would he be back in? But it's not just an average game, John. Back to you.
Lions want to win. Keep a shot for a home playoff game alive. Too far for Nick Mazzoli, who was in behind the cover, and Damon missed him.
Oh, you can't believe it. He had Nick Mazzoli open down the sideline on a little wheel pattern and just overthrew him.
Football fans, take a sneak peek at the BC Lions official website. Brought to you by BC.
How much did he have to take off this?
Well, a lot of times it's much more difficult to hit a guy that's wide open than a defensive back that's on you by a step. You can make the throw much easier because it seems like your concentration wanes just a bit if a guy's wide open.
Lou Pasaglia has hit from 49 yards, his longest try this year. This from 46. And he's got it. Only just. That's all you need. Lou is 4 for 4, and he's got a sore leg. Lions on top by 9.
Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won VTech's 2-line digital cordless telephone with name and number call display featuring digital 900 megahertz clarity, range, and security. Call display shows time and date and stores the last 99 incoming calls. Or the Samsonite Easy Card, the amazing suitcase that puts the weight on 4 wheels and not you. 4-wheel stability assures effortless maneuverability. Easy Card, the case that does everything but pack itself. For your chance to win, visit your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Excuse me, would you like to make a long-distance call?
Are you kidding?
No, really. Try someone.
Hi, Mom. It's Laura. Oh, yeah, I can give you advice. Romances are good. No, it's okay when it's a 4th cousin, but I'm not with the arm wrestling. Last time it was really embarrassing. Oh, yeah, Rich would be nice. I should snatch him up before someone else gets him. I think dinner and a movie is good. Yeah, he's still got all his own teeth.
There's always something to say long distance. What are you waiting for?
I agree, a cat is no substitute.
Hey, Max.
You can run, but you can't hide. Here I come again, baby. You can run, but you can't hide. Here I come. You better watch yourself.
Max? The all-new 1998 Escort ZX2. Grab life by the wheel.
And we are. We are having that. Into the final quarter. Lions Lions have the lead. Slack has the football, and now Mike Saunders has it. Nice run by Saunders out across the 40. 7 yards. The Riders outscored the Lions in the third quarter and got close. Lou Pasaglia came on and made it a 9-point gap again. On the line, playoff positioning. Sean Millington's had a night. So is Damon Allen. But right now, they're watching Reggie Slack. Saunders looking for a first down. Great extra effort, and he gets it.
Well, Mike has good vision as a running back, Johnny. He had the ability on the first play. The counter play got up in behind his offensive line. This time he finds the cutback and picks up the first down. He sees where the first down is and slides to pick it up. And this is an important drive. I think they've got great field position here out at the 47-yard line. Need to turn this into points if you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider.
Saunders with 64 on 12 carries. Slides out of the backfield this time. Slack sees an opening. He'll have a first down sliding at the 50. Were you going to throw a flag there?
Oh, Reggie Slack. Yeah, Kelly Lockbaum hit Slack right in the middle of the back, and he feels like that was a late.
But which is interesting because Damon Allen was the victim of a late hit after he actually drove into the ground. He didn't slide. Reggie's definitely sliding here. That should be flagged. You can't be making decisions on who's making hits. Robert Davis is watching this in Winnipeg. He says, hey, why isn't that being flagged?
That cost me $1,200. Anyway, I saw you with your right arm up. You were ready to throw the flag, David. Saunders again. And he ran right over Kelly for a 9-yard gain. Maurice Kelly is shaken up.
Well, Reggie Slack just took that hit from Kelly Lockbaum, and he's been shaken up this year as well. He's had the bad shoulder and just back in the lineup. So those hits can cost you. That's why Jim Daly and Slack were real upset. But this has been a physical game, Dave.
Really has. Mike Saunders still down on the field, and there's a guy that you cannot afford to lose. He's played so well today.
Some big hits here tonight. Right now, Mike Saunders is trying to recover from one. Adam Rita has the lead on Saskatchewan.
Oh, hi. It's Midas-Size days, and that's why we can't afford a color commercial. But what we've saved, we're passing on to you. Midas will give you a lube, oil, and filter, top-up fluids, test antifreeze, rotate your tires, set the pressure, and check lights, hoses, and belts. All for just $34.95. And they'll even inspect your brakes for free. See? It's right here in black and white. Midas, the way it should be.
Hi there. Would you like to make a long-distance call?
Get out of here. Long distance. I'm gonna call my grandmother. I'm driving a stretch now. Oh, guess who I had in the limo last week? No, I can't tell you. No, I signed a contract. I'm not allowed to say anything. She's got a bit of a weight problem. That's her. I'm driving her around, and you know what she wanted? Fast food. She just sat in the back of the car eating. Well, I guess that's why she wanted the stretch limo, so she could, stretch out.
There's always something to say long distance. What are you waiting for?
No, I think she's collecting the toys or something.
Well, Jerry, I don't know about you.
Looking for something different?
I can remember in the past.
Want to get involved?
Feel the rush. Get in the game. The CFL is back, more radical than ever. The action never stops. It's hard-hitting, high-scoring football. Where are the attitudes? Feel the rush. Get in the game.
And he's taken down. Our quarterback in the booth, David Archer, still upset about this hit on Reggie Slack.
Well, I think Kelly Lockbaum certainly hits him late. I don't think there's any question. Reggie declares he's sliding right now, and it's a late hit. And the people in Winnipeg are wondering why there's two different calls in this situation, because they got a lot of fines because of that.
2nd and 1. And Sean Daniels may have the first down for Saskatchewan. Mike Saunders on the sideline, shaken up on the play after Slack was hit.
Well, Mike looked like took a hit on the hip, or actually twisted his hip on the hit by Maurice Kelly. Mike will be back, just getting it taped up. Watch him get twisted here a little bit by the Kelly hit. right on the hip bone, and a lot of times these guys don't wear the hip pads, and I would guess that Mike didn't have one in there.
Nope, he's got one now, though.
Kelly was shaken up on the play as well, but he stayed in. Here's Slack on first down. Time to throw. He's picked up. Don Wilson stepped in front of Farthing. Both folks can still run. There are markers down, but Wilson is dropped at the 55.
Don Wilson is back in the lineup, helping and replaced Robert Holland. Robert Holland was not injured, but the coaching staff in BC felt that Don Wilson not only provided his experience, but he's good in the locker room. And when a game gets close and down the stretch, Don Wilson finds a way to come up with a big play.
BC number 3. After the interception, first down.
Well, Lockbaum got the pressure, and it certainly took some velocity off of the throw. Ill-advised, it looks like, from that situation, and Donnie Wilson has intercepted a lot of passes in his career. In fact, that breaks the tie he had with Don Southern. He now is 5th all-time, all by himself, in interceptions in this league.
58 career interceptions for this guy. And lots of yards for Sean Millington tonight, but not there. Strung out by the Saskatchewan defense.
58, 95, Simmons, 71, Juris. Second down, Lions.
Well, Sean Millington has taken some big hits tonight, and he's taken a little while getting up after the last one.
Number 25, Sean Millington, the injured line.
So Millington now shaken up. You know, so we'll add one more to Don Wilson's total, right?
Yeah, I think that's 59 by my count, John. And when you get up that high, it's kind of tough to keep down. The guy sitting next to me here, Glenn Suter, I
Number
think
27 had 2.
Well,
52.
51 officially, but I keep trying to put 52 by him. But no.
Which one did they miss?
That's a lot of interceptions, and Donnie's been around for, I believe he's won 4 Grey Cups in his career. Made a lot of plays, but this has been a hard-hitting contest all night long.
Boy.
We featured some of the big hits. We see Sean Millington down. He's shaking the cobwebs off a couple of times, and Reggie Slack took a monster hit in the last series. He's warming up at the sideline, see if the arm's going to be okay. Kevin Mason also loosening up. Donnie. Reggie seeing if the arm's okay. Took a shot on the shoulder, but Mason getting loose.
Yeah, this has been one hard-hitting affair. And you know, Jim Daly said that it's been an up-and-down season for us, but the one thing that we've done game in and game out is shown up and played hard, and we've been very physical. Then when you combine that with the fact that Adam Rita was really on his team this week about the fact that they weren't very physical against Toronto last week, we knew tonight would be a physical affair between the two of them.
And that's the first comment, John, that Daly will make, is that I can't guarantee we're going to win. I can't guarantee we're going to play perfect football, but I can guarantee we're going to show up and we're going to hit people. And that's what his team does every time they come to play.
Well, he was talking yesterday, too, about his team playing the best football of the season in the stretch, in spite of the loss last week to Montreal by the narrowest of margins. Reggie Slack has put it together after a slow start. He's still got an opportunity to win this thing. But right now, the Lions have the football. Damon Allen chased out of the pocket, slowed once, and 3 riders land on top of him as he's going down.
This is how Damon Allen started the game, and I truly believe, and I've played against Damon Allen, and he's most dangerous when he does take off and run, because it really stretches you as a defensive back. You don't know when to come out of your coverage and help out on the run, or stay back and cover the receiver. So
Allen is hurt.
Well, right at the end of this play, gets hit in the back of the head. Watch this guy coming in right at the end, right there. Rogers comes in and catches Damon in the back of the head, and I think he's a little woozy. I think he's still down on the field. I think he's a little woozy from the shot in the back of the head.
Big hits tonight at BC Place. There's lots on the line. The Riders trying to grab a playoff spot, and the BC Lions still gunning for top spots.
Excuse me, sir, on the beach. Would you like to make a long-distance phone call?
Well, I'm a golf guy. I need your advice. Yeah, I can see the pin this time. Yeah, I know I'm always in the trap. Well, no, because if the knees are bent, it's out. Feet are lined up. Well, I got a phone tucked in under my chin. I'm not really, limber. I'm more of a, limbo. Very loose, very fast, very nimble.
There's always something to say long distance. What are you waiting for?
Very nice. Right on the fairway. You're a great coach.
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do start your car, there isn't an engine treatment in the world that can give it the kind of protection Slick 50 can, because nothing else has Slick 50's unique chemistry. That's why Slick 50 engine treatment protects so well at startup and keeps on protecting even when you change your oil. You can reduce your engine wear up to 50%. What it takes is Slick 50.
I have a lot of fun playing characters that are impulsive and dramatic, because the real me is pretty basic. I'm even a little practical. Like a while back, I noticed I had some flakes. So naturally, I started using Head & Shoulders. Of course, it helps keep the flakes away. And if it leaves my hair looking like this, why mess with a good thing?
Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems
Into beautiful hair.
Lions are dropping like flies at BC Place. Damon Allen heads to the sidelines. He should be back. Sean Millington is already there waiting. They're looking at his ankle, and if you look way up, you should see David Pratt in behind the bench. We'll get a full update from him. Nowhere to go for Philpott with Caravana in at quarterback. David?
Well, the situation with Sean Millington is that he twisted his left foot. Sean, exactly what happened on the play, Sean?
Yeah, that's hurting a little bit.
Well, obviously, he's in a little bit of pain and a little bit too busy to be talking to us right now, but apparently it is somewhat serious. They are concerned, and then the next stop will be Damon Allen. We'll get you an update in just a moment.
Well, we know it hurts. Caravana hit as he fired, knocked away. And there's a penalty marker down.
Well, the book on Caravana is he really doesn't have very much experience.
Illegal
Minimal experience.
BC 77. Penalties declined. Third down.
As they had Trevathan's offside, and that happens when you have a different count as Caravana brings into the game with him. But I think Caravana's strength really is his ability to play golf. He's a two handicapper. The man can play the game. He just hadn't got a chance to play much quarterback, and you only get better through experience.
Yeah, and last year he only threw 50 passes, completed half of them, but really hasn't played a whole lot.
Now Pasaglia with Caravana at quarterback comes in to punt. That's his first of the night. $22,399 at BC Place for a critical game for the hometown guys. Who will quarterback the Roughriders? Looks like 17 is back in for Reggie Slack. Mason warmed up after Slack was shaken up. But he's the man tonight, 17 of 29. Riders have good field position here, guys.
Once again, they've had it the whole fourth quarter.
Mike Saunders slowed in his tracks trying to get out of the backfield and then surrounded.
One of the key additions to the BC Lion defense this week was Dave Chaders. Chaders is playing on about 80% shoulder. He's had a shoulder injury. It's about 80%. And what Chaders brings to this defense is attitude. Adam Rita feels like he needs that attitude back in the lineup. Made a good play in that last one out.
He's nasty, Chaders. 2nd and 9. It'll be a first down. Ricky Walters made the catch for the Roughriders. Inside the BC 40, Slack hooks up with Ricky Walters, who's in the game with the injury to Shannon Baker.
Ricky has 2 receptions tonight, and he's made 2 good decisions on both. The first one was a zone. He found the hole and got open for Slack. made a quick decision. Slack was able to put it on him. This time he sees man and breaks to the sideline with Narcisse clearing, makes another key catch to extend the drive.
Lions lead by 9. Roughriders inside the BC 50. What a great run by Mike Saunders. Interesting when the back runs over everybody and then helps up a tackler, huh?
Nice job by Andrew Green, number 68, and John Terry to collapse that side. Andrew Green just opens it up, and a great cut by Saunders.
Saunders will get 100 tonight. He's at 90 on 14 carries. Slack sprinting to his right. Wants someone deep. End zone toss. Missed Walters by 5 yards. He didn't break out quite fast enough. Slack wanted him downfield a little bit farther. Here's what's happened. Jackson, 109 yards. Farthing with an almost miracle catch for a touchdown. Millington leads the rushing derby, but not by much.
And they haven't really cashed in their turnovers. You know, 3 turnovers by Saskatchewan has only resulted in only 6 points. And that's really how you make your way when you have a close ball game. You got to cash in the mistakes.
Big play here for Saskatchewan on 2nd and 10. Slack has time. Far side. Daniels made the catch. But he's short of the first down.
Well, you don't like the choice that Reggie Slack made, Dave, but I'll tell you what, it was a pretty good open field tackle by Leonard Humphreys. You don't like the choice.
Oh, it really is a good tackle. This is a tackle that has to be made. It's open field. Reggie comes back. He sees his zone. I've got nobody downfield. Now he's going to drop the ball off to his back. You throw the ball to Sean Daniels, and you see the super tackle by Leonard Humphreys right there to limit the play. Or do you throw it to your featured back on the other side, Mike Saunders.
So McCallum in from 35. McCallum wide. McCallum has had a sensational season kicking, 71%. He was 5 for 5 last week, and he misses a golden chance here tonight. Definitely within his range.
Well, it was a big miss, but it wasn't a game-breaking miss because they're still within 8 points. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion can tie the football game, but certainly would have liked to have cashed that in if you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider.
Lots of baseball ahead this weekend on the Sports Network. Baltimore-Cleveland. That series continues. Wow. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 if you're a West Coaster. And the second half of the National League Championship Series, Atlanta against Florida beginning tomorrow evening, 4:30 Pacific time. Damon Allen not shaken up after all, but there's a marker down as Allen grabbed enough yardage for a first down. He has run very effectively tonight.
He just was going back, coming back.
Illegal block. BC 68. First down repeated.
Corey Mantika gets nailed on the holding. Corey Mantika and Todd Furtick have been taking turns coming in and out of the lineup for the Lions throughout the season. And Adam Rita made the comment in the press conference yesterday that he just wants one of these guys to get fired up about being taken out of the lineup, because they've been taken out and just sort of said, oh, okay, not my turn. He wants them fired up.
Yeah, he wants them to play nasty.
Maybe a little too nasty for Mantika on that one because he got called.
1st and 20, Lions back at the 25. Allen stands in. No one open. I think he just got rid of that one. Philpott was the closest Lion to the ball, but it landed pretty well in the middle of the bench.
Well, a mobile quarterback can help a team in a lot of situations if you're breaking down protection-wise. I think Damon hurt his team here. That was pretty good protection. I thought that was a nice pocket, and he skated out of there, and I think he skated out too soon because Trevathan was able to come open for him. So Damon, in trying to do some things to help his team, sometimes I think he hurts his team from time to time, and he misses people like Trevathan because he's scrambling trying to make something happen himself.
Trevathan has not been a big factor tonight. 0 in the receiving department for him so far. Allen rifled that one in. A little too much out of it. Thompson tried to react to the football and lost his footing. Well, so the Lions get set to kick it away.
Yeah, Larry Thompson just lost his footing trying to come back to the football, but Damon Allen somehow found him, and he's upset that he couldn't hook that one up because the Saskatchewan Roughriders were playing with 7 defensive backs at the time, which means the coverage, obviously downfield, is going to be intense. But Damon Allen somehow found Larry Thompson, and they just didn't click.
Caravana back in to kick. To return for the Riders. Here's a seam. He's inside BC territory at the 52. 3 minutes to go at BC Place. The Riders trying to lock up a playoff spot, but they're 8 points in arrears to the Lions on Friday Night Football.
What makes Ford trucks so tough? How about the choice of 2 available powerful Ford Triton V8 engines? What makes Ford trucks tough to beat? How about the world's only standard third door on the Ford F-150 Super Cab? And what makes Ford F-Series the #1 selling truck in Canada for 29 years running? Hard-working Canadians who need tough, versatile trucks for work and for play. Built Ford tough.
I fry bacon in the nude.
I rip labels off of pillows.
I sometimes mix colors in with my whites. What about it?
Everyone has a different view of risk.
I sometimes return a video without rewinding it.
At Canada Trust, our breakthrough personal investment program gives us an in-depth understanding of your views on risk, letting us personalize a plan that's right for you. Call now for an appointment.
I golf during thunderstorms, but never on Sundays.
Friday night football tonight.
Great evening for it at BC Place. We're into the final 3 minutes here. It's an 8-point difference between the Lions and the Roughriders. Saskatchewan has the football.
And this game, to me, Glenn, has the air of kind of a playoff-type game. 2 teams playing kind of close to the vest. You don't see any tricks. Good, solid defense, which you like to have. If you're going to win a title, you need to have some defense rise up for you. And you kind of get that feel in the game tonight.
And physical. And in the playoffs, the physical part of the game turns way up, and it is here tonight for sure.
Riders first and 10. BC 53. Slack has his target. Riders have a first down. Big escape here. Mayfield will go all the way.
I'll tell you what, I've got a look of disbelief on my face, and so do you, Glenn. This has to be considered one of the great plays of the season by one individual. There's no blocks. This is just Curtis Mayfield coming inside and making people miss.
And this is defensive backs closing and underestimating Mayfield's speed because they take bad angles. Great Frères and Don Wilson get the wrong angle and can't catch up to him, and he just takes off and outruns them. Wow.
So Mayfield gets a 53-yard touchdown, and the Riders line up for 2 to tie. For the 2-point convert, the pass is there. It's even. Daniels coming out of the backfield.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my.
Great anticipation from Reggie Slack here, Glenn, as he has to let this ball go well before his running back actually finds the ball in the air coming at him. Don Daniels makes a nice adjustment. The ball's on target. He gets in.
That was a great play by Reggie Slack. 2 in a row now to dump that ball off. You're right, Davey. Threw it before he opens up, and Daniels comes up with the catch. But
nice little touch pass. John Daniels doesn't get a lot of credit for what goes on. He's been out 9 games. More of a blocker, but he's made a couple of big catches, none bigger than that one.
What a play by Curtis Mayfield to get into the end zone. I mean, this is just all speed. Here's Mayfield here. Look at the defenders that have a chance to get Mayfield. He's going to cut underneath, pick up the pass. Now there's two-line defenders right there, Damian Lyons and Lockbaum. They completely whiff on him. Rasheed Gale has a chance. Don Wilson has a chance. No shot.
We're fortunate to be able to show you the entire scoring drive because it only took 26 seconds. Make it 20 seconds. And Mayfield was right, Suits. He is an outside receiver.
Yeah, he likes it out there. I guess that's why.
It's all even. Larry Thompson trying to make it happen, and he took a monster hit at the 25. The playoffs start early on Friday Night Football.
That was head-to-head. That shook the booth. Oh, boy.
Ryan Carey, the starting free safety for this team, as he's got Rodgers buckling up the headgear. Big hit.
Oh, listen to this. Bang. Wow. That's been all night.
Carey helps pin the Lions deep. They'll begin this drive at the 25. It's even at 19. 2:30 on the clock. Lots of time for a couple of touchdowns. Hopefully one each way, and we'll go to overtime. Allen has Thompson. He's at the 42.
Well, Dave, I want to go back to that point you made about Damon Allen sliding out of the pocket when maybe he didn't have to. On that play there, he stood in that pocket nicely and delivered a strike. And it basically shows what you're talking about. I mean, that's Damon Allen just relaxing in the pocket rather than moving around too much.
15 yards. The Lions out of their own 42 with a first down. Chance for the touchdown here. Not quite. Suited. Eric Sutton.
I thought for a minute there, Walter, you said Sooner. Oh,
I might have.
Great anticipation by Eric Sutton. He comes around the corner, around the curl pattern, and is there before Larry Thompson even gets there.
Well, Larry comes off. He's just running the curl route, and he slips and falls down and opens the door for Sutton to run the route for him. And Damon was on target to Sutton, but he wasn't the guy he was throwing to.
Well, that's called reading the mail for Eric Sutton. He opened up Damon Allen's mail and knew what it was before he did.
First turnover by the Lions. The Riders will come away with points from this. First and 10 at the BC 12 on Sutton's interception. Benefield on the tackle. Saskatchewan down 13-0 in this ball game. And Eric Sutton, number 13, has given them a chance for the win. Or at least the lead for the first time. With 1:47 to go.
Well, chalk that first down up to Michael Saunders.
He did it all himself.
He certainly did. I think initial contact, he was held about 2 yards short of the first down. He gets hit right there. He's a couple yards short. Keeps spinning, turning, digging. Keeps fighting for that extra yard.
Well, a super push by Kaminsky on Johnny Scott, who's been all over the field, and he dominoed him, actually put him on his back, which allowed Saunders to fall in behind him and pick up the first down. And the thing I like that Reggie Slack did there on the play is he milked the entire 20 seconds of the clock before he took the snap. He realizes they need to punch this in the end zone to score and put themselves up. But he also realizes he does not want to give Damon Allen very much time to come back on him.
Yeah, we want to score, but just not in too much of a hurry.
Allen turned it over for the first time in the fourth quarter. The interception by Eric Sutton has set the Roughriders up with an opportunity to go ahead here. Mike Saunders over 100 yards tonight. He got the call there, and he stops at the 1. Big stand by the Lions.
But now BC has to consider taking their timeout. And as I say that, they do. Leonard Humphreys walks right over to Dave Ewell and sticks the timeout sign in his face. And Adam Rita realizes that they may be holding off the inevitable and getting in the end zone, so he wants to conserve as much time for Damon Allen as he can.
Well, now here's another scenario. One more stop by the BC defense from Adam Rita. And what do you do if you're Saskatchewan? Kick the field goal with 1 yard out?
Well, you got to take the points if you're this close, don't you?
Well, I played in a game similar to this, and it finished in a tie because Coach Ritchie didn't take a field goal in that situation. Right. Learning from experience, you kick the field goal.
Kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Now, Calgary tried to kick a field goal to win against Edmonton, and Davis Reed blocked it. So that's the other thing you got to think about.
Saunders is out of the Saskatchewan backfield. It's 2nd and goal to go. The Riders at the Lion 1. And they get the touchdown.
And maybe a great substitution, John. What they did is they pulled Saunders out. They moved Sean Daniels, the big fullback at 235 pounds, to the featured back position, turned and handed him the football, and he's actually hit in the backfield. But because of his size and strength, he's able to muscle it in. That might not have been a run the 205-pound Saunders makes. He may have been stopped there. So great substitution. Watch Sean Daniels get hit in the backfield. Maurice Kelly hits him in the backfield. He fights through it and gets in.
For the first time, the Roughriders have the lead. They trailed 13-0 in this ball game. And it's now a 7-point advantage.
Gentlemen, though, I got to tell you, 107 is an eternity in the CFL. Damon Allen has plenty of time to bring the BC Lions back.
But he needs a touchdown to tie now.
Well, we know Damon Allen has it in him because 2 weeks ago right here, they came back from a 33-14 deficit against Hamilton with a little over 8 minutes to play. So this is no step for Damon Allen. He's definitely a stepper.
107 left. Hurry up offense will be on the field. And it's 3-down football. This is great, isn't it?
Larry Thompson slipped. Eric Sutton got the interception to set up the touchdown. And the Riders have Adam Rita worried again.
Well, as a quarterback, I start thinking about people now. I've been thinking about knowing I'm going to get the ball back. Who do I need to get involved in the game that hasn't been a factor? Obviously, Jackson hasn't been much of a factor here in the second half, but Mike Trevathan has yet to catch a pass in the game. He's only caught 8 passes in the last 3 games, so only 8 passes virtually in 4 ball games. I think Trevathan has to be a guy you get the football to here.
107 to go. The Lions have a chance. Thompson with a chance to redeem himself. On the return, Larry Thompson is out to the 31. The Roughriders have roared back, outscoring the Lions in the second half.
But Dave, I got to ask you a question. As a quarterback in this situation, a minute left in the game, you thrive on this, and this is what you want. You want the ball in your hand.
No question about it. You certainly would like the situation to be different. You wouldn't have liked to throw the interception to put them up, but it's in your hands now. You have a chance to determine what happens. No question. This is the way you want it.
A playoff berth riding on this for the Roughriders. A win, and they're in for the first time since '94. Damon Allen on first down, and a man wide open. Trevathan. Oh, boy. Well, the quarterback called it. Way to go, 18. That's number 18, David Archer, called that.
The quarterback called to get the ball to Mike Trevathan, but what a job by Damon Allen to buy some time. He buys the time and then sidearms it, and Trevathan keeps the foot in.
First catch of the night for Trevathan, the biggest of the evening for the BC Lions, a 45-yarder. BC set up first down at the 35, Saskatchewan. The Riders lead it by 7. And he's picked off again. This is Ryan Carey. And that might do it for the BC Lions. Carey took a little time off the clock. And Bobby Juriston forced the throw. Damon Allen intercepted on back-to-back series.
And the place he's going with the football is back to Mike Trevathan. Because of the rush by Bobby Juriston, he doesn't have time to wait. He has to unload it before Trevathan finished his route. He hooked up instead of going down the field. Damon had to let it go early. Big hit from Juriston.
Well, the veteran steps up again and makes a play, comes in and forces Damon Allen to throw that when he doesn't have to. And Bobby Juriston, like he's done so many times for the green and white, comes up and helps his team with the big win.
40 seconds on the clock. The Riders look like they're heading to the playoffs.
Everybody right, we're trying to hang in there, Kerry.
Yes, sir. That's a good statement by Bobby Juriston. Hang in there, because this team has hung in there all year long.
BC Lions have qualified for the playoffs, but have no idea where they will be playing as a result of what's happened to them here tonight. Unless the Riders fumble the ball here, the Lions are done tonight.
Well, we talked about it. I really think this is a dangerous football team, Saskatchewan. They're so streaky. When they get things going, it really dominoes for them. They can look so bad and then look so good. I really think this is a team that nobody would really want to face in the first round.
Well, Reggie brought him back tonight. Reggie Slack down 13-0 at one stage.
Third down, Roughriders.
Well, you're right, Dave. I mean, this is a Saskatchewan Roughrider team we talked about earlier that's beat Toronto, that's beat BC now 3 times, that's beat Edmonton and Calgary. I mean, the only team they haven't beat is Montreal, and they've been close.
A couple of times against Montreal.
I would venture to say Montreal does not want to see Saskatchewan come east as the 4th place team in the West.
Riders have games against Hamilton and Winnipeg left, and they still have an opportunity for a home playoff date as a result of this result here tonight. The Lions will be in the playoffs. The record now 8-8 for BC.
And now things get really difficult for BC because they have to go on the road to Edmonton and Calgary. So things get tougher for BC at the end of the season.
Well, I don't think we'll call it a miracle comeback, but it was a terrific one as the Saskatchewan Roughriders qualify for the playoffs for the first time since 1994. It was a great Friday night for football at BC Place. Saskatchewan over the Lions by a touchdown.
Play Safeway's all-new $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won Fill-A-Shave with reflex action. It adapts comfortably to the contours of your face. Closer contact for a closer shave. Fill-A-Shave from Philips, our closest shave ever. Or the Elna 1010 sewing machine, beautifully designed with a classic appearance that offers quality and performance at a competitive price. Ideal for mending, alterations, crafts, and fantastic for the beginning sewer. For your chance to win, visit your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead, try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says,
No, over here. Are you gonna try those on?
like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it. Whoa.
It
had looked like a foregone conclusion, but now confirmed tonight. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are playoff bound. All the playoff teams are set. Winnipeg, Hamilton out of there. Saskatchewan picking up 2 more points and keeping the race tight after a 26-19 victory. A come-from-behind win over the BC Lions. May recall back in week 1, first week of the season, Kevin Mason, the quarterback, the game at BC Place, Saskatchewan trailed most of the way and came back, rallied for the victory. BC Lions, Les, what a tough team to figure out. They've got the talent, but week in, week out, they've now lost 4 of their last 5 games. This is a struggling team.
You know, in all actuality, they should have lost 5 of their last 5 games. And then you got to think about it. They got beat tonight. They got beat by Toronto last week. And they played Hamilton week before, which they should have lost the game on that bad call, and the referees made that bad
You know what?
spot.
I'll support you on that, seeing how you're a Hamilton assistant coach, but I will agree with you. They should have lost that game.
This team is in some turmoil, Rich. They need to go and straighten themselves out right away.
And where there is some criticism for BC, there's certainly praise, Obi, for Saskatchewan.
Hey, give Saskatchewan, Coach Daly, his coaching staff and players all the credit. And Marty, your buddy here, Rod, picked it up for your slack there. He predicted Saskatchewan was going to win in the 4th quarter.
Just had that feeling, Coach, the way it was down the stretch. BC, a lot of talent, but still some questions to be dealt with. The only thing about the Lions, you never know. They play a good team. They could also come on strong. Must be frustrating for Adam Rita right now. Be back with more right after this.
Every day, people have financial concerns. At Manulife Financial, we're helping millions of Canadians find real answers, creating flexible solutions to help you face the unexpected. In fact, Manulife is probably helping someone you know right now. Manulife Financial, helping you make better financial decisions.
Is your life boring? Are you tired of the same old thing?
Suck it up. Get in the game. The CFL is back and more radical than ever. The action never stops. It's hard-hitting, high-scoring football. Get in the game. Wear the attitude. Go, 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 go.
Hey, suck it up. CFL football. Get in the game.
Oh, hi. It's Midas-size days, and that's why we can't afford a color commercial. But what we've saved, we're passing on to you. Midas will give you a lube, oil, and filter, top up fluids, test antifreeze, rotate your tires, set the pressure, and check lights, hoses, and belts. All for just $34.95. And they'll even inspect your brakes for free. See? It's right here in black and white. Midas, the way it should be.
The Fall Wood Pro Sale from Stihl. Save right now on selected Stihl chainsaws starting at just $299.95 and get a Wood Pro kit valued at over $75 absolutely free. Stihl, built to last, priced to sell.
Did you see the look on his face?
Hey, here comes another one.
Come to Papa.
Wait, not a Ford Contour. That thing's got more moves than a cat.
And it's so quick.
What do they think we are? Greyhounds?
Come in and test drive the newly restyled 1998 Ford Contour. One drive will surprise you.
Hey, you guys up for a little Italian?
This Friday, a new network is making history.
The Eagle has landed.
The triumphs.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
The defeats.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
The memories.
I escaped just like I said. The police have therefore been given certain extraordinary powers.
We as a people will get to the promised land.
Coming Friday, History Television. It's about time.
We don't all run half marathons. We don't all drink distilled water. But we all love bread. Dempster's Hearty Grain 100% whole wheat bread. Low in fat, no preservatives, and high in fiber, with 8 essential nutrients. And now, try Dempster's new premium bagels in 7 delicious low-fat varieties. They're at your grocery store, just a short jog away. Dempster's, deliciously sensible.
Our next game on TSN CFL Live, a week this Sunday, it will be. We made a change, not Hamilton, Saskatchewan, BC at Edmonton. for the top of the West Division, and it is very close in that race. Got that one for you. Pregame show 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sports Desk coming up with Mike Toth. Game 3 in the National League Championship Series. Hey, Marlins starting to look pretty good. Japanese F1 qualifying, and Jacques Villeneuve. Big weekend for him and the NHL, the Senators, and the Ducks. We got some National Hockey League highlights to put. Adam Rita sees his team lose another one. Jim Daly's Saskatchewan Roughriders takes it. Coming from behind to win it, 26-19 from all of us here at Friday Night Football. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Tenda in the red corner, Montreal's Tracy Ham. He's got the alley shuffle, and he'll counter left and right. Tens of Mike